This is the satisfying downfall of Andrew Tate. I have been sent this many times because I am an avid defender of this man. So we are going to watch it and see how it turns out. Unlisted, let's give you a shout out while you're here. NHL 25.
Vlad.
Oh, you have a.
Vlad, you can do something right now.
Got a clip here. Let's take a look at that before we start.
Vlad, let's go!
I'm gonna blast my eardrums off. Okay, that was a pretty hype.
He made a rage quit. He made a rage quit. Oh! Let's go! With the clutch! Vladimir Guerrero! I even called it! Oh!
Okay. I like that one. Let's go and get started.
Pimp, mafia associated criminal. Like, I've got all this stuff, and everyone's like, who is this dude? Like, surely it can't all be true. Well, it's all true.
Several months later.
Okay.
There's no evidence in my files. I've done nothing wrong. Everybody knows I'm innocent. They charged me with garbage.
Okay.
They have nothing. There are no victims. I've done nothing wrong.
Nobody believes I'm a bad person. 99% of the comments on any of my videos are positive.
It's all hilarious, bro. It's a joke. Human trafficking for TikTok. The whole thing's a joke.
If you repeat a lie long enough, it'll eventually become the truth. Or at least that's his intention. Andrew Tate is a fraud, plain and simple. And frankly, he's only getting worse as time goes on. He's lying through his teeth on every single podcast he goes on. He's scamming his own fans. He faked having lung cancer for sympathy points on the internet. And he's even stooped as low as suing his own victims in an attempt to silence them. And somehow, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. So I think it's about time that somebody finally exposed Andrew for who he truly is.
All people that love the truth gotta be happy if the truth coming out and lies is getting exposed. That's just what time it is. 2024, folks.
Now, yeah, but we're also going to defend Andrew Tate in this case because of how much help he's done
gaining a little bit of
knowledge
for the male community. He might have been a douchebag from time to time, but he's also assisted people in their way of life. Like he's helped men. I've heard it, I've seen it, and it's true. With every good, there's possibly a little evil in there.
And watching a few hours of his content, I, like many others, discovered something truly incredible. This tall, beautiful, bald man with moves like prime Michael Jackson, who just so happened to be the living embodiment of everything that a young man might aspire to be like.
Okay.
He's got the fame, money, success, supercars, a good physique, and on top of that, he's eloquent and well-spoken. Aside from when he's admitting to committing crimes on video, of course.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me. So I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do.
And coincidentally,
okay,
the man who used to
that just makes him cooler
to committing crimes on his own YouTube channel.
Let's be honest.
So happened to get arrested for the same crimes that he previously admitted to doing. And then he turned around and blamed it all on the Matrix.
I know I'm innocent. The world knows I'm innocent. Everybody knows this is a Matrix attack. And I can prove it's a Matrix attack.
And I can prove that it's not, because after spending way too many hours of my life researching his criminal case and watching almost every Andrew Tate interview in existence dating back to 2016,
that's a lot.
I can say with 100% certainty that Andrew is not the man of morals and virtue that he now claims to be.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be. That's not what he's going for.
On Earth, for all the children, is Andrew Tate.
Behind his bombastic, moralistic,
did he really just say that? Dude, he's a superhero to all the kids. Woo! Sure. All right. Okay.
Say misogynistic social media facade.
He's probably misogynistic. Why not?
The biggest fraud on all of social media, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes. The man is cool, dishonest, he uses religion to line his own pockets, and he's currently running a massive disinformation campaign to try and defend himself in the eyes of the general public. And that's not even a tenth of it. So I'm here to debunk...
But we're also going to say every other politician in the whole world does the same thing, okay? We're gonna talk about this in a way. This is nothing new to anyone, right? You following along? He's not doing anything different from anyone else.
Of Andrew's lies, expose the real truth behind his criminal case, and finally place this man exactly where he belongs.
And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution is not going to get that man today. No. Because I'm going to get him.
What we do here is go back.
Okay. Yep. This seems about right.
Andrew Tate needs absolutely no introduction. His backstory has...
Yeah, I think we all know who he is, dude.
I was a pimp. I'm a 4-time kickboxing world champion. 6'3", a multi-millionaire.
Look,
Sexy bald head.
you gotta be... the amount of pride, vanity, and coolness you gotta say to just admit stuff like that is insane. Like, you gotta have some real balls to be like, I'm the coolest man around. You all know it. I know it. And anyone that says otherwise is just wrong.
But what hasn't been covered enough is how much of a straight-up pathological liar Andrew is at his core. You see, Andrew
ABM
lies on video
chill
more than anyone I've ever covered on this channel.
You have chill.
Not even about important stuff all the time. Sometimes he
this
just
is your
lies
first
about
time.
minute
Chill
details.
Tate.
How many times have you seen The Matrix?
BM, we are defending Andrew Tate. Here, let me pause. We're defending Andrew Tate against Juice the King here in this video. I was sent this so many times that that this is what we're doing today.
Yapping for hours on end on other people's podcasts, nobody can keep track.
And then we're
of
gonna play
the
Zelda.
Nonsense that consistently comes out of his mouth.
Because they've put up such a smokescreen of garbage that we're sitting here trying to go through the garbage. And the only reason we have to do that is because there is a proportion of the population who are so slave-minded. They're slave-minded. They will believe anything they are told.
Unfortunately for Andrew, I am extremely masochistic and I'm not slave-minded.
It's absolutely true. So this is in both cases. So what? Like, Tate's probably using the same sort of tactics, but he's not wrong. There are morons out there that really will believe everything someone says on the internet and not think twice about it. And those people are just nothing short of morons. Okay? There's no other word for them. They have no thoughts of their own, and at that point, you are just a slave. I've been told something, you're a slave. Yep, that's it.
So, just to set the groundwork here, let's go through a few of the common lies that Andrew likes
Okay,
to
we've
repeat.
got some
For
lies
example,
here.
Anyone familiar with Andrew knows that chess plays a huge role in his brand and persona, and he often uses the game as a metaphor for life. And I do too, as I think it perfectly illustrates just how much of a liar Andrew really is. Because one of the biggest lies Andrew often tells is that his late father, Emery Tate, was supposedly a chess grandmaster.
My father is a chess master. My father was a chess grandmaster. My father was a chess grandmaster. I was on track to become a chess grandmaster. So
he was a legitimate chess grandmaster.
My father was the highest rated black chess player in history.
Really?
Yeah. So my father was a big G in chess. Whoa. My father was a grandmaster. My father was a chess master. My father was a chess grandmaster.
Okay, so before you say that he's wrong, his father was a chess grandmaster in his country. Not of all time, in his country.
If you didn't know, a chess grandmaster is one of the best chess players in the world, and it's the highest rank that you can achieve in chess.
It's the highest rank you can do in anything.
Into perspective, there's only about 2,000 grandmasters
Ew, Choco
in
face.
the entire world, and there's hundreds of millions of players. Andrew's father, Emery,
Hi, Luna.
was in fact an excellent chess player. He was an international master, which is the rank below grandmaster, but he was never a grandmaster. And because
We're gonna play the new Zelda here after this video, but I've been sent this video so many times that I feel like I'm obligated to watch it on stream. And talk about it.
Lies so often that he can't even keep track of his own lies, Emery Tate's real chess rank was recently confirmed by Andrew himself.
What would you call your yacht? Everybody has a name for their yacht. What would you call yours?
The International Master. Which is not a girl's name, but my father was an international master of chess. My father was an international master of chess.
So even though all of those clips are from after Emery Tate unfortunately passed away almost a decade ago, according to Andrew, his father was both an international master and a grandmaster.
I really, truly believe that...
So, he was... I don't know what Juice is trying to say. He was a grandmaster in his country, and he was an international master in the world. Neither of these are lies.
I'm just very honest. I don't think I'm any worse than most other men.
Now, that's debatable.
Lying about something so
He's a
small
sexist
like this
post.
only serves Andrew one purpose.
I'm not going to disagree. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with your statement. But what I am going to do is in this documentary that's 2 hours and 20 minutes that I keep pausing, and we're already 11 minutes in, we've only watched 7, is I think he is being unfairly written here, and I'm going to defend him in this video against all the backlash everyone poses. Because I don't think he did anything different than any other strange politician in the world. And I think everyone deserves a fair chance.
It's an attempt at trying to make his past seem more interesting and inspiring than it really was. Or maybe it's just the brain damage kicking in.
So the video is trying to say that he is a renowned criminal, okay, and a pathological liar. And I'm not going to say he's completely wrong. But I am going to say that I'm going to go through and analyze each point and actually determine if everything is true. I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a great guy. No, I'm just going to say he deserves a fair chance.
Wait a minute.
Staying on the topic of
See,
chess,
the human trafficking thing, I'm going to wait on judgment of that because that was dismissed. And until I know for sure, I'm not going to take that into account.
Andrew also makes up this insane lie about how he was the under-16 Indiana State chess champion at just 5 years old.
So you played a lot as a kid?
I was state chess champion age 5 in Indiana, the under 16, so I was the youngest to ever win it. I remember I was sitting there across from some 16-year-old. When you're like 5 and a half, that's scary, right? And I remember when I beat him, he cried. That made me happy.
So, fresh out of pre-K, Andrew was better at chess than people more than triple his age. Obviously, this is a complete lie. Anyone with an internet connection can find Andrew's verifiable US chess record at the link I've provided below, and according to the records, there wasn't even an under-16 tournament that Andrew participated in. Not only was Andrew not the under-16 Indiana State chess champion at the age of 5, there isn't even a single record of Andrew winning any
I mean, you can
chess
defend him, but it
tournament
doesn't
ever.
change who he really is. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that statement. But what I'm saying is the reason I'm defending him is he's not worse than other people on the internet. I'm trying to say that he's not doing anything differently than anyone else has done. If I'm comparing him to a bunch of super talked about people, I'm thinking he's getting unfair hate because he's going against other people. Though he's not, he's just being held accountable. Yeah, but here's the thing, other people don't get held accountable either.
In fact, he was actually kind of mid. And once again, this guy can't even keep his own damn story straight.
I'm saying he's being held accountable where other people wouldn't be doing the same things.
And then, in this old podcast he did before he was famous, he changed the age yet again.
When I was in the under 15s, in Indiana. I won.
So he was younger here.
5 years
okay.
old, youngest to ever win it.
This has to be under investigation. Someone.
When the alleged chess prodigy
now, if you're a good liar, you're not gonna say actual numbers. You're not gonna say your years. Like, what are you doing?
Bio, as you can see here.
My Twitter always gets banned. It's a weird.
Oh, I know. I'm saying more people should be held accountable. You're absolutely right, Luna. I think your statement there is completely correct. Absolutely.
But if you check his website now, you can clearly see that none of his old kickboxing world champion belts are from K1. 3 of his belts are from ISKA, and 1 of them is from Infusion. And neither of those 2 organizations are generally recognized as elite level competition like Glory or K1 in its heyday.
So, he's talking about lies, okay? Let's be honest here. How many people on the internet lie to make themselves more popular? Everyone lies here. It's a sad truth. I hate it. Everyone else hates it. He's doing it stupid because he's doing actual provable options, but I'm not going to say anyone else doesn't lie. Especially if someone who's conventionally attractive. I don't know. I don't find Andrew Tate attractive.
And that's exactly why one of the most accomplished kickboxers of Andrew's generation, Gabriel Varga, didn't even know who Andrew Tate was before he became a famous content creator.
But I have had many subscribers say, what do you think about Andrew Tate? Is this guy a real kickboxer?
Wait.
And I kind of went, well, I've never heard of him.
Reread, please. It's discussing how little accountable people are held to, especially if someone who's conventionally attractive. Tate is fugly. You're absolutely right.
And I just didn't bother looking.
I don't think he's a good-looking man.
If I haven't heard of somebody, chances are it's not that important for me to actually go and critique them. They haven't
Luna,
anything of note.
if you want, I'm in VC. If you wanna come discuss this with me, I'm in the den. If you want to watch this with me, like I don't mind.
The reason why Gabriel didn't have a clue who Andrew was is because Andrew was never one of the best kickboxers in the world, as the title world champion would normally indicate. Because in kickboxing, they hand out belts like McDonald's hands out Happy Meal toys. So, although getting any sort of belt is definitely still a great achievement in life, it only makes you a world champion by technicality.
World champion of what?
Happy Meal toys.
Andrew was a bad kickboxer, but he's just not as good as he claims he was.
You ever been knocked out cold?
I've been knocked out cold once.
Actually. What was that like? Like, what is?
Only once in 87 fights, which is good for a career. I've been knocked out cold once. Only once in 87 fights.
Because his alleged 76-9 record isn't from consistently fighting guys who were the best of the best. In fact, a lot of Andrew's recorded fights were against straight-up tomato cans. His last fight was against a literal teenager.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Okay.
This should be a hate crime, not a sanctioned fight. And if you go on Andrew's Wikipedia page,
I'm gonna see if my opinion of Tate changes in this.
Even have their own page. So is Andrew technically a world champion kickboxer? Yes, but a paper champion. Because his world championship kickboxing belts are the equivalent of me beating Neon in a boxing match.
What's your opinion on him? I don't mind him. He's like whatever. I mean, I think he's a liar. He's possibly a bad person. Probably is. But I also think he did help some men come to terms with how to be an actually manly person who can get their life on track. So I think there is both good and evil that came from this guy. And I don't think it's right to say that he's all bad or all good. I just think he's a person. What's your definition of manly? My definition of manly is someone who can take care of a family, make money, accept responsibility for their actions, and be viewed publicly as a person that can be considered, how do I say it? A douchebag. Yeah. Someone that can be considered not many people like because they are the way they are. Someone who just doesn't care about what other people say. That's what I consider manly.
Then going on and claiming to be an undefeated pro boxer. Would it technically be true? Sure, but it's not really as impressive as it sounds.
Am I wrong about that?
Like someone who can, the best way, I'm not gonna curse, someone who can take shit, deal it, and then deal with it. And just doesn't care what people say about them. That's what I consider manly.
In my opinion, the most blatantly disrespectful lie that Andrew has told to the general public is that he's bald by choice.
Why are you bald?
I shaved all my hair off, and I'll tell you why. Because people make fun of me for being bald. Hey, you're bald. As in, like, I haven't noticed something.
Right.
Well, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I shave my head 3 times a week. Like, so I could grow hair back as beautiful as yours.
What? What?
I'm not missing my hair at all. My hairline's fine. I could grow my I could have a full head of hair like Tristan if I decided to.
I'm not even gonna waste my breath refuting this one.
What's this, you fucking piece of shit?
Lol, and I'm the Queen of England.
Huh? What's this, motherfucker? What's this? Huh?
But look, I know I've made some jokes in the past on this channel, but now that I'm
Yeah, I never thought, like, I mean, Andrew Tate had hair, but I don't think he's gonna grow back like that.
I love bald people, but what I just can't stand is bald people who lie about their ability to grow a full head of hair, then come out of jail.
And it's obvious, like, it's obvious that his hair is because he has high testosterone, he can't grow it. So he shouldn't lie about it. Like, I mean, the one thing I can say about Tate that I completely agree with Juice and everyone else is this guy just loves to lie for some reason. And I know why. It makes him more popular. And if it makes you more popular and it's not against your beliefs to just lie, then by all means, that's what you do. You're making money from it. So who cares? But I'm just kind of pissed that he's just saying these lies that are, like, obviously false.
Not being able to shave their head, looking like this.
How do I look, yellow man?
You look like you're about to tell your friend not to come to school tomorrow, man.
Andrew also lies about why he moved from the UK.
Insecure, it's not popularity, it's the most balding men are. I could say that, yeah.
Why do you choose to live there?
In Romania?
Yeah, I know you have like businesses and things going on there, but why there?
There's something that very much angers me about the Western world. I don't feel comfortable here. I don't like the way it functions and operates. I think it's the most corrupt, disgusting, degraded societies on earth. There's nothing left besides money and corporate agenda.
That's just not true at all.
I don't... Now, hold the phone. I'm going to agree with Tate in that one. There's government agenda. There's corporate agenda. Money, maybe. But it's mostly, like, our country kind of sucks right now. Let's be honest. It's pretty ghetto. He's not necessarily wrong. Would I move to Romania? No, I wouldn't move to Romania either. But I'm not going to say our country's in a good spot.
As we all know, the West is the most amazing, flawless place to live in the entire world.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to foot.
The real reason, and...
Dude. I wasn't ready. I didn't even know he did that. Man, someone needs to make a montage of just Joe Biden messing up words. I can't. I'm dude.
Drew left the utopian West. And
that's worldwide. I'm pretty sure Romania has similar issues too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Romania is any better. Like, if I would move anywhere, it would be Austria. I like Austria. It was a pretty good place. Maybe Italy, but you know, Italy has a bunch of problems. I just want to move there because I like the way it looks. But I think Austria would probably be the best place. Sweden, yeah. I wouldn't mind Sweden either, for sure. So I'm just saying he's not necessarily wrong. America's not doing so hot right now.
Jail.
The actual reason why I eventually totally left
Yeah, you left
England.
England.
Before.
Why did you leave England?
You moved your business to Romania just to avoid like Me Too or avoid the kind of Western feminist legislation against.
Bro, I'll come out and say it, man. I got hit with a Me Too case. Fuck the West. Finish it. Any man who refuses to leave is a coward.
I mean, I wouldn't call men a coward for not leaving the country they were born in. That seems a bit excessive.
Get out. I did the right thing. I ran away.
So he moved from England to Romania, not...
He called everyone a coward for not leaving the West country. I mean, that's a little excessive.
Disdain for the West. In my opinion, he moved to Romania because he was scared of being found guilty of the things that he was being accused of in the UK and was attempting to flee justice. There's a very good reason why nobody can name a single other millionaire on this planet who's not a criminal, who's not Romanian, who doesn't even speak Romanian, who has chosen...
Well, I want to, like, Luna, like, one of these things, and the reason I made a joke about Andrew Tate before that got me banned from that server, right? And I might as well make a notice of this. I think I told you, but I might as well say it here. I compared someone's masculinity to Andrew Tate's buffness, his masculinity, his just depiction of muscles, okay? And the guy I was comparing thought it was funny. It's just the people in the server are different. I could have said anyone else. I could have said John Cena or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, Andrew Tate was on my mind. Like, hey, that's pretty scrawny. Yeah, like, I just mean, it seems a bit excessive to me. Like, that, I'm not going to say he's the best guy. I'm going to still defend him here in this case, do my best, but it's hard to defend this. But I'm saying I could have said anyone. I don't know why it was such a big deal that I picked this guy. It didn't matter. I wasn't saying what he may or may not have done.
To live in Romania. And hypothetically, even if he didn't move from the UK to Romania to flee justice, he's openly admitted that part of the reason why he moved to Romania is because it gives him easier access
to be honest,
corruption.
You don't know why he's defend him? I'm trying to defend him to prove the point that because he's saying certain things, even though he's a bad person, he's being accused because of his beliefs and morals that he has, okay? Where if someone else with different beliefs and morals who have done the same things wouldn't have said defense. They wouldn't even be accused or be punished for it. I'm saying because of the way he is in actually speaking out, he's being accused for things, yeah, he may have possibly done. He may have done them. But I just don't think it's fair that we're looking at this in a two-way street.
Accept that every single system on the planet is corrupt. Why would you live in a place where you cannot access to corruption? Does that make sense logically? Or would you rather live in a system where you can...
Well, he's not my poster child. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to be like Andrew Tate growing up. When I'm 43, I want to be like him. I mean, would it suck? Not particularly. Like, he makes $300,000 a day. I mean, he doesn't really care about any of it. Does he really care? No. You're trying to defend the diddler? Yeah, but, like, the diddler makes money. It doesn't matter what you do to make money. He could go blow off somewhere, disappear from the internet, and not do any of this if he really wanted to. So, like, it's like whatever to me. You can do whatever he wants.
I am important enough within said society that if the police stop me, I can give them $10 and they'll fuck off.
I'm no expert in criminality, but
I mean, I
would
guess.
assume that openly bragging about your access to corruption is going to get your access to corruption taken away sooner rather than later.
The Matrix has attacked me.
Imagine being a 37-year-old man in handcuffs,
Yeah, 37.
screaming, "The Matrix has attacked me," and people not thinking you're schizophrenic. And why would?
But it's not about schizophrenia. People are morons, all right? We're talking about morons. They're going to believe him, okay? All right? He's doing exactly what anyone else would do. They're going to get him out because people will believe him. I'm not saying he's a good person, but I'm not saying he's dumb either.
Any honest, ethical man like Andrew even need access to corruption anyway?
In this world, being ethical does not get you anywhere fast. I fully believe that. Okay? You don't have to be a good person to make it somewhere. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Do I wish everyone was a good person? Yes. But this man is not. But does he know how to succeed? Yeah, he's being unethical to succeed. And at least to me, that's admirable.
If you generally follow basic laws and you just make mistakes every now and then, just like everyone else, you wouldn't need to move to a foreign country that you have no actual ties to, with the end goal of having constant access to corruption.
I would agree with you there.
Everyone's afraid of us. And if anyone did piss us off at any point, even if we didn't want to fuck them up ourselves, we can make one phone call and they'd either be in a ditch or lose their any right to stay here. They'd have some visa issue and be kicked out the country, or arrested for no reason and put in a jail cell for months at a time. We are basically as mafia as you can get.
So now that we've established the fact that Andrew is a weaselly little liar, even when it comes to small...
At least he can just admit it. He's like, whatever. Like, it takes some major kahunas, okay, to be like, yeah, we're basically like the mob. Uh-huh. As a man's man, I completely agree with you. Okay? You're right. Dude's trying to come hard as a man's man, right? And he's compensating. Sure, you may say that. But he is, I'm going to agree with the first statement, trying to compensate. I mean, trying to come off as a man's man. But here's the thing. He knows that no one in, like, most countries, they want to relate to that because they don't have anyone. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Details, I think the most important thing Andrew lies about is his criminal case. Almost every word that Andrew has ever said about his criminal case has no basis in reality.
Here's the thing. If it wasn't making him money talking online or telling people, I don't think he would convey it to anyone else. I don't think he would care. I don't think he would say exactly what he said unless it got him some, which I think it did.
And while I definitely understand that he wants to defend himself, lying about almost everything in the completely baseless ways that he does is just not a very good strategy.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying, so your charges are you were nice to a girl and asked her to do TikTok and keep the money. I said, no, I didn't ask her to do anything. I was nice to a girl who had a TikTok account, and they're saying I stole the money from the TikTok account. They have no proof of this.
Just so we're all...
The only people following him are misogynists and incels, let's be real. I'm going to say that you're like 50% correct. I know like some people that follow him just follow him because they want to learn how to make money and have nowhere else to turn, or young men that like have no fathers. Like, I don't follow him. But that's not my problem. Like, I'm not going to pay for his man class or whatever he's trying to say. But I'm also saying it's not necessarily a bad thing for someone to look up to someone. Someone has to look up to someone else. And if you choose Andrew Tate, there are better choices. But at least you're not looking up to, like, I don't know, Lil Wayne or something. It's not role models are pivotal. Yeah, but no one has a role model anymore. Also, I don't know why he keeps lying about things that are obviously you can look it up and be like, he's no role model? I mean, he's a role model to some to be a man because they have no one else and their fathers left them. Because he's narcissistic. I mean, I could always admire a good narcissist, to be honest. That's a lot of men.
all on the same page here. Andrew and his brother Tristan and two of their associates,
But either way,
Georgiana Nagal,
he's obviously saying
trafficking and forming an organized
like,
crime group where they allegedly exploited women by recruiting them under false pretenses and forced them into making explicit content for financial gain. In addition to that, the UK recently issued an arrest warrant for Andrew and his brother, and they're going to face separate charges of sexual aggression in England. Andrew has also recently been served with a UK civil lawsuit, which includes allegations of rape and sexual assault. So regardless of the outcome of the first case, after...
I mean, is anyone surprised about this? Like, I'm not surprised. So I still don't think he's a good person. Like, you're not going to convince me that he's a good person. It's disgusting. I mean, it's not good. It's really bad. But I'm also going to say this man made some money.
The trial in Romania is over, they're going to be extradited to the UK and go through another criminal trial. And on top of that, at the end of the first Romanian indictment, it says there's a second indictment currently being made against the Tates that's going to include charges of money laundering, trafficking in minors, and human trafficking.
Yeah,
so
but I wasn't saying it's okay. Okay? Right? I'm not going to say it's okay. But I'm also not going to say that, like, anyone else with that much power wouldn't do the same thing.
I think it's safe to...
Well, obviously not the rape part. That's just bad. Like, Andrew, what are you doing? That's pretty evil, okay? Right, but if he started like a porn ring or whatever, like an OnlyFans ring or something, pimping, in a way that paid them more fairly, like that's still not good. But I'm gonna say that people do it all the time, and it's not really like his thing. If your friends jumped off a bridge, you would too. I mean, if I lived at the bottom of the bridge, in the bottom of the bridge, had a bunch of money, probably would.
To say
they're cooked. They're cooked.
Says Paul Pierce.
We're gonna take them out the oven, put
You
them on
cooked.
the stove, cut them up. I'm gonna serve y'all a couple plates with dessert.
Although everyone should be presumed innocent until proven guilty, I am quite confident in saying that Andrew and Tristan are cooked. And I know that not just because of the evidence in the indictment, but...
Let's be honest here. Okay? Andrew Tate has so much money and so much influence on people on the internet. It doesn't matter if he's cooked or not. He could be put to jail. He may never go to jail. He'll probably be out in 6 months or something. He's leaving. I don't think Andrew Tate's ever going to make it to jail. And if he is, he's going to be out. Like, it's as simple as that. This man was a gangster. He literally ran a mob. He's going to run the jail too. There's no other way to put it. That's what people said about P. Diddy. P. Diddy, I have no respect for P. Diddy. Okay, let's be honest here. If your house gets raided and you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil, what are you doing? Like 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and then you open, there's a secret room filled with dildos. The pool was filled with dildos. What? What are you doing? What are, like... It's really the baby oil that got me. What? The dildos, 1,000, whatever, a pool filled with dildos. Okay, that's still strange. Highly irregular. Yeah, anal lube. Do you need 1,000 bottles of anal lube? What are you doing? I mean, at that point, it's just funny. Just stop.
the baseless excuses they invent out of thin air.
Better be safe to go and drive.
For example, the most common lie Andrew uses to defend himself
He uses a whole bottle.
just about how he helped women gain followers on TikTok for money.
Just to clarify, I am accused of helping my friends get big on TikTok. That is what I'm accused of. I told some girls I know how to post on TikTok to become viral when I was at the time the most viral person on the planet. And they are saying I'm a human trafficker for that reason.
That is just not true at all. Although TikTok is...
All right, I'm back.
Mentioned frequently in the indictment, it is not the primary focus of the case. Andrew is exaggerating its importance as a way to distract his fans from the severity of his alleged crimes.
Okay.
What Andrew and Tristan are accused of is using TikTok as a funnel to get customers, from TikTok and onto OnlyFans. This is confirmed in the indictment where Tristan says, "We need to ensure that these successful TikTok days can translate into more money on OnlyFans. If you give a girl the power to make a lot of money on TikTok, you risk losing her. TikTok should be used to direct money to OnlyFans." So they...
I mean, that's just good business. Doesn't... There's a lot of girls. We watched an OnlyFans video about this before. Yeah. It's like 60% of American women or something stupid. Something super high. Yeah. Okay. You did that. Yeah. Sure.
wanted the girls to use TikTok not as a primary source of revenue, but as a sales funnel to get people onto explicit websites. And the reason why they were doing that is because the Tates had control of the women's accounts on the explicit websites. As evidenced by Tristan's own statement, he wouldn't trust any of the women on OnlyFans with their own passwords or any of the other sites that they were making explicit content on. I don't want to tell them they have OnlyFans. I want that money to be used by me and you. So this shows that they systematically had control over the victims' accounts to ensure that a majority of the revenue generated by the women was going directly to the alleged organized crime group and not the women themselves.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it's smart. It's smart. It's literally the definition. Yeah, you're right. Morally, it's horrible. But, like, again, I'm not going to put it past anyone else. Let's be honest, they're going to do the same thing. If you're moving people from TikTok, like, we watched an OnlyFans video, 47? I think it was like 40% of women in the United States have an OnlyFans. Yeah. Okay. So you're telling me Andrew Tate and them promoted these TikTok girls, talked about them, to get them more popular, move them to OnlyFans, and then they get a cut of it? Now that's pretty smart. That's a pretty intelligent move. They're playing 3D chess here.
Women are the easiest to program. You can trick women all day long, right? So, but I wasn't tricking anyone. I was just saying, look, you can make a bunch of money. I never exploited anybody. I never hit a girl. I never hurt nobody.
Now I'm going to say that he's going to take an L here. Okay? He's taking an L. It's pretty proven it's proven that women are just more intelligent than men from a young age. It's like not even close. Like, they get smarter, they grow faster. They're not easier to trick. easier to exploit, yeah, because, you know, men don't really take stuff from people. I can give him that one, but he's not, they're not, you know, you can't really trick them as easily. It's literally like, that's a biological fact.
Buddy, I didn't even have to raise my voice. I was a positively inspirational and motivating person. I was a pimp.
And
Did he made an anagram out of pimp to make himself look better? He made an anagram out of pimp to make himself look better. That's a whole new level. That's like 1 to 100.
By having control over their accounts, they also maximize the victim's dependency on the Tates and minimize the victim's autonomy. And luckily for Andrew, he has previously spoken about maximizing a woman's dependency on himself in order to retain women working for him.
When you start with a girl,
Yeah, you have fun with this vid, lol. This just certified how person he is.
You verify the account on your phone, and you control the account.
Yeah.
So you.
We're only 20 minutes in. There's 2 hours left. This is going to be an experience to be had. He'll get his karmic alignment in due time. I mean, I'm sure. Probably when he dies, he'll probably have, you know, some repercussions to face. I'm just saying in life, that's not really how it works. Because here in life, bad people get freaking... Things don't really happen to them anymore.
You are now in charge of her OnlyFans.
These girls will scam you. If you let them take full control over their accounts, they will run away. I like to keep the girls' passwords. I log them in and log them out. If you give the girl the password to her account, there's a chance she could run away and try it by herself.
So this case centers around allegations that the Tates formed...
Like... TTYL Dawn? Maybe. But like... Why are they openly admitting to this kind of stuff? Like, what are you doing? Like, at what point can you just keep your mouth closed about certain things? You're going, like, God, bro. What are you doing?
An organized crime group with the intention of trafficking women to Romania and having them work for them, making explicit content online for financial gain. Not just TikTok. But of course, if you ask Andrew, all he ever says is that the case is about TikTok every single time.
Yeah, that's smart.
Is that I pretended to love girls
because that leads the suspicion away from him.
To make them do TikTok for money. I was all about trying to get paid. Like I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted.
Okay.
I was a pimp in that sense. Like I was not trying to have sex with women. I was trying to get women to obey me, and I realized that's easier if they like to have sex with me. If they don't like having sex with me, it's pretty hard to make them listen to me.
So did somebody else plant this on you?
Oh yeah, the Matrix.
Okay. Human trafficking and helping girls make TikToks are two very different things. To put into perspective the severity of the alleged crimes here, one of the victims described herself while working for the Tates as an animal deprived of human rights who had no control over what she was doing.
Okay.
Another victim said that before her relationship with Andrew, she was a happy person. But after...
She was a happy person, huh?
Or even have a normal romantic relationship. She felt constant pain and guilt. I'm no expert in psychology, but I would assume these statements weren't made because Andrew helped them with TikTok. There are 7 alleged victims in this case, and 5 of them have provided detailed testimonies to the Romanian authorities, which are all quite damning. There are multiple witness testimonies, the Tate's electronics were seized, so the prosecutors have access to all of the Tate's electronic communications, and the case also uses clips of Andrew and Tristan confessing to many of the crimes that they're now being accused of.
Never pitch a girl to be webcam until after. Never. I've tried it 100 times. I got lazy. I've been on a date with a girl. She's clearly a hoe. She's done cam before. Like, it ticks every box. I'm like, and before I pitch cam, and they never do it. Oh, no, I don't do that anymore. No, you think I'm this. No, you think I'm that.
It's true. You don't date cam girls either. He's spitting facts.
No, they pretend they're offended, even though they're not, to try and prove to you that they're some kind of good girl. It's bullshit. Fuck them first. Do not ever ask a girl to work for you. I wouldn't say no once because you start pass the test. Do the test, pass the test, 2 or 3 more times. I'd say maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that. Say I'm thinking of starting this business.
One of the things Andrew is being accused of is using the Loverboy method to recruit women into his webcam and OnlyFans business. This strategy is essentially seducing someone under false pretenses such as marriage, and in that clip, he admits that he was intentionally misleading the women that he was trying to recruit because if he didn't mislead them,
yeah, he was.
He wouldn't be able to get what he wants. A great example of Andrew using the Loverboy method to manipulate a woman into moving to Romania and working for him is what Andrew did to Victim 2. He initially
What did he do to Victim 2?
In 2022, presenting himself as interested in a romantic relationship. He even told her during their first ever meeting that he was looking for a woman to marry. And through text, he would say things like,
"You have to understand that once you're mine, you'll be mine forever. A woman never leaves her man. I'll be the last man in your life. First, I need to see in your eyes that you can never live without me, and then I can trust you to show you everything. Can you be loving enough to be a wife, to be always by my side, wherever I go? Do not talk to any men except me."
Over time, he convinced her to move to Romania by saying that they would live together, but when she actually got to Romania, Andrew wasn't even there, and instead she was moved into a house with victims 6 and 7, who she described as brainwashed and do whatever Andrew and Tristan asked them to do. And after a few weeks, Victim 2 realized that her movements were restricted, and she was only able to leave the house if she was accompanied by others. And over time, she was eventually convinced into creating content for OnlyFans, which she was initially very reluctant to do. And despite Andrew's initial promises of exclusivity in marriage, over time Andrew's behavior
This sounds about right.
a cruel form of manipulation, as at one point in the relationship, Andrew started referring to her as his slave, which enforces strict obedience, specifically in the context of someone being restricted in where they can go. Luckily, Victim 2 was able to escape the situation in 2022 with the help of law enforcement, but ultimately, that is a completely unnecessary problem for someone to have in life. Nobody should require law enforcement.
This is basically, I want to say every mob does the same thing. That doesn't make it right. Been telling people he work with them people for real. Telling people he work with them people. I mean, I'm not going to defend his actions, but I'm also going to say that any other mobster would do these actions. This isn't unique to Andrew Tate.
To help them leave a job that they didn't consent to doing in the first place. And to add insult to injury, at that time, Andrew was actively teaching his fans how to use the Loverboy method to exploit other women in the same way he did to Victim 2. Andrew used to sell an interesting product on his website called the PhD program, which stands for Pimping Hose Degree, and
Dude, what is with the anagrams? Tate, please, just slow down with the anagrams. You don't need to make everything an anagram.
In this PhD program, he just so happened to teach others how he would use the Loverboy method to manipulate women for monetary gain. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam. Quite damning if you ask me.
I mean, when it works, it works. It's one way to make money.
And when Andrew was asked directly about the PhD program, he claimed that it was satire.
Why did you call it a PhD, Pimping Hose Degree?
No, you're talking about an old video which was made satirical.
Why did you call it that? Oh, that was satire.
Of course it was.
Selling a course for almost $500 is not satire. It's an unironic attempt to produce income and take advantage of...
Dude, he is so good at lying. Like, it's a whole new level. Like, he's actively lying about facts you can find to put himself in a better light. Dude, there's no way this man ain't gonna not... Like, he's gonna leave prison. They're gonna arrest him, and he's gonna get out somehow. It's just how it's gonna work.
Gullible and socially inept young men. That's why before Andrew was famous, he was unironically shilling the PhD like his life depended on it.
You need my PhD course.
Because the PhD course teaches you how to obtain, retain, and satisfy women. On CoverTape.com, I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree.
Clever. Clever.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me.
His job is not done.
That was my MO. Find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's
You're
how I
right.
got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. Because that's a completely different game as well. The PhD course, the Pimp and Hose degree, was teaching people how I managed females in those scenarios. How I controlled their emotions, how I convinced them to work and give me most of their money, how I convinced them to share me with other women, why they obeyed me.
Notice how in those clips he's not describing normal relationships with women, he's describing a systematic way of controlling women, kind of like a pimp.
I've had guys come me all the time and go, "You're a
I mean, again, you're describing him as a pimp. He's not hiding it. He's doing what every pimp would do. Man's a pimp. Let's be honest. And he's proud. He's proud of being a pimp.
pimp." Like I'm supposed to be like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Yeah, I am, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a pimp."
Yeah, he is. He's proud too.
Employees were being treated while they were working for him.
Anyone who watches State Confidential knows I'm all over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. Like, "Oh, Tate's away, so they go out with their friends." No. You don't go to the club with your friends. I don't know what kind of bitch-ass dude is letting his chicks go to the club with her friends without him. No. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs.
He's keeping a prisoner too.
Else, I'd rather have my genuinely hot girl than in my fucking bedroom making me money. Why the fuck I let her out to the world for?
When I used to hear him say things like that, I thought he was just playing a character or being a more hyperbolic version
Make
of
women
himself
great
to get
again.
more attention on social media. That's just not the case, unfortunately. According to the alleged victims themselves, Andrew and his associates would actually restrict the movement and freedom of the women who worked for him as a form of control.
Look, you can say this guy's a liar all you want, pathological liar. But his honesty comes from every word he says, he truly believes. You can tell that this man believes every word that comes out of his mouth. Thus, I can't accept that some parts, are lies, but you feel like you gotta believe them.
Control. Victim 1 claimed that she could not leave without Tristan's permission.
I never doubted that he probably did these
She
things.
attempted to escape. Victim 1 also claimed that under no circumstance would the guards let her out on
Gotta
her
be
own.
going for moves
When she
who
would ask to leave,
got daddy
they would say
issues?
they don't understand.
You have no idea. Okay, so a lot of people know this about me. I run a support group for people, women. So, like, in IRL, I'm actually, like, a genuinely a good person. Okay, I'm just gonna be admitting to this. This is some narcissism. You ready? The women in my support group, every single one of them have a problem with their father. There isn't one of them that isn't a father problem. And you know what that's called? You're absolutely right. See, men, they don't know how to be fathers anymore. To both boys and girls. They give up now.
And even when she pulled out Google Translate to ask them to leave in Romanian, the guards just pretended to not speak any languages at all. Victim 2 claimed that she could not leave on her own or without notifying anyone. Victim 3 claimed that she could not leave the house without their permission, and she literally called the police and claimed to be held against her will. Victim 4 claimed that she wasn't allowed to leave the house alone, and she was always accompanied by someone else. So according to 4 separate victim testimonies, the Tates were restricting the freedom of the women who worked for them. And if these claims are all true, they were most likely doing this because when a trafficking victim's movement is controlled, they become completely dependent on the people restricting them.
I learned every tip and trick it takes to make sure a girl gets paid. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away.
Again, he ain't hiding it from anybody. He's telling you the truth. He ain't gonna let those girls run away. They're his money makers. That's the honest truth right there.
once you teach a girl how to do this, she has the ability to make unlimited money from home. Why would she still give it to you? Why does she just run off and keep it all for herself?
If you have to make sure a girl can't run away, then you're not running a business, you're running a prison. Andrew has also explicitly bragged about how good he was at getting women to tattoo his name on their skin.
Yeah, getting the girl, fucking the girl is the first 10% of the game. Having a girl tattoo your name on her, is the other 90%.
And how many girls have their...
Every pimp does that. Every pimp. Every pimp has, if you look at any porn, every stripper, any pimp has, if you look, tattoo something on their girls to match. It's a common tactic. This is a common psychological tactic.
Have your name on them now?
22. I got 20. I'm on 22.
Wow.
22 girls.
This isn't just a character he's playing for the camera. This is a real thing that he actually used to do to the women who worked for him. This one says Emery A. Tate on the neck. This one says dedicated to King Tate. This one says Tate owned. And what's most surprising to me is that this behavior of tattooing females is very similar to a well-documented practice often used by human traffickers and pimps.
Survivors who get away from traffickers are often left with a permanent reminder of captivity. Tattoos or property.
There it is.
Marking.
There it is.
Just they have a number, not a name, or who they belong to.
In addition to allegedly branding and restricting his female employees' movements, by his own
Surely
admission,
is. It's
he
called
would lie
revolution
to
of
and
the
manipulate
method.
these women so they would
They tell you.
continue working for
Let me
him.
pause. They tell you what they do before they do. They love telling you in a joking way. I mean, this is, yeah, it's not really, it is in a joking way. Like, this joking way leads to people feeling secure. I'm not saying he's dumb. He ain't dumb.
Is inspire a girl to make money and give you money. So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence. You have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, her believing she needs you. And this is extremely important because at the beginning she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive that she can't do this without you, to ensure that she doesn't do it without you.
So his necessity to work with the women was not through providing mutually beneficial value. His intention was to create a fallacy that the women needed Andrew to do this business and that they couldn't do it without him. A perfect example of this manipulative behavior is shown in Andrew's chat logs from the war room with a woman named Jasmina. The girl who moved lost her support networks at home, cemented her move, talking about staying forever, can't wait for me to come back, etc. So I had to tighten the screw. So I said somebody in her old town told me she worked in a sex club. I literally totally made this up from the sky. Here's the
Yeah, making, like, then you just make them so they don't want to go back. If you make them so they don't want to go back, they're not going to leave. They're not going to want you to leave. He's not, like, he knows what he's doing.
screenshot proving that he actually did this, and at one point she literally says, "I'm freaking crying alone in a room," which is just cruel given the fact that this entire thing was based on a lie. Started calling her a liar and threatening to kick her out. But the real goal is for her to never go anywhere without me, not even her hometown. I need her working, not visiting friends back in her hometown. So in his own words, he was using threats to isolate the women working for him, like Jasmina. And on top of that, once he would get the women to start working for him, he also admitted to straight up scamming them by just lying about paying taxes.
Tax is also another important element of controlling your money. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody.
Oh.
Tax evasion. Okay. How many rich people do you know that do tax evasion? Oh, wait. Every single one of them? All of them? They all do it? Yeah. Yeah, they do. This is nothing new to Andrew Tate. This is nothing unique to this man. They all do it.
Okay, so if you just get paid in Bitcoin, you never have to pay taxes.
You're getting paid in Bitcoin, so you don't need to pay tax anyway. You need to tell your girl they're paying tax. Because girls are lazy. Girls are stupid. Girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we made this much money, I'm going to pay the tax to make sure you're not in trouble. She'll say, okay, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It's a control element. Secondly, it allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I have to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I give them 3, and I keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes.
Andrew isn't exactly the best guy to be
Moral
giving tax
standard.
advice because as of me writing this, the Tate brothers are on trial right now for evading income taxes in the UK for about $27 million. So clearly this Bitcoin scheme didn't exactly work out. But believe it or not, this tax advice somehow gets even dumber.
Really, you're paying 30, tell them you're paying 50. Difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you, they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. That's all the time, is print out some random tax forms, say, sign this. What is it? It's the tax, I'll pay the tax and all. You just sign away. I sign it, it's done away. They think something's happening, something real is happening. Nothing's happening, something real. Anyway, so tax is another important element to keep control of your own.
So he was scamming the women who were working for him.
Okay.
By just lying.
Yep.
At least he treated the customers well, right?
You got to put a moose on it. So I'm trying to teach these women, and the women kept picking it up. So I said to them, like, you know what? I'm taking over. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards. I plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking. The girls were just pure, just famoosers, just laughing and doing this. Out. And they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. And they come and say, what kind of, all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. Milking them dry.
According to this now self-proclaimed Muslim man, his
Okay.
aroused male customers thought they were speaking to these women on the screen, but in reality, they were speaking to a 6'3" bald man who, by his own admission, was trying to milk them dry.
They're people without morals. And if you have...
I mean, if you're on OnlyFans, that's what you get. Autobot, Andrew Tate, your morals are already gone. He's right. You probably deserve to get your money milked dry. Let's be honest here.
No morality.
If you can't find a woman on yourself and you're dumb enough to pay women online for this, it's your own dumb fault. You ain't man enough.
A long enough time scale, God will teach you a lesson. They're fucking morally bankrupt individuals. They're just sitting there typing, and I'd type 16, 17 hours a day. But I pulled 3 grand a day, 4 grand a day. So that became my new life, right? I went from kickboxer to fucking pretend girl on the internet.
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
I
was going to let it slide, but that was just a little bit. The thing about it is he knew it himself.
So now that we've established the fact that he was scamming
Okay.
everyone involved with this webcam company, from the Romanian government to the women working for him to the virgins buying his content, I want to get into some of the other lies that Andrew often tells in an attempt to defend himself publicly.
You know who else scammed? Logan Paul's a scammer. Mr. Beast is a scammer. Like, this ain't anything new, guys. This ain't anything new.
For example, Andrew often claims that there are no victims in this case, and that the women themselves have come out and publicly said that they aren't victims.
The girls who they've identified to add to the file are saying that we're not victims of anything, and this isn't true. But the state believes it's true. The 2 victims who the DCOT are accusing me of using Loverboy method on have made videos saying, he just told us how to do social media, we're not victims.
And for once, there's actually a little bit of truth there. 2 women have come out and stated that they aren't victims and that the Tates are good guys.
Yep.
There are no victims in this case, and I am not a victim. And I feel it's very unfair that my family and friends are being held as prisoners for crimes they didn't commit.
In addition to this, in the indictment, it also says victims 6 and 7 haven't identified themselves as victims. However, in the very next sentence, it clarifies that the evidence presented has shown that these 2 individuals were exploited. The prosecutors reference a Romanian law which states the consent of the victim of trafficking does not constitute a justifying cause. And one thing that doesn't help the Tate's case is that these 2 women have both been branded by the Tate brothers with tattoos.
It's written Tate.
Yeah, it is.
hey, guess what? If these two people are dumb enough to not see that they're victims, that's their own fault. Too bad. Let Tate do what he wants. Now, whatever, I guess. That's a whatever moment.
Why?
I have lots of tattoos, different ones. The Harry Potter tattoo, the bullets on. Tem una extended tatuajul ăsta care scrie Tate Girl, pe care l-am făcut din respect pentru.
And if that wasn't bad enough, while Andrew was in jail, he went on a recorded line and specifically told his cousin Luke to get these two women to make videos defending him and his brother. So in my opinion, those videos made by the women defending the Tates don't hold much weight, as they've been specifically instructed.
I mean, so what that Tate told him to do it? They did it, and they didn't have to do it. They wanted to do it. So I would say these two girls are valid, and they're just dumb.
To make those videos. And on top of that, according to the prosecution, Andrew transported these two women to Dubai, a place which coincidentally doesn't have an extradition treaty with Romania. And hypothetically, even if these two women aren't victims of anything, the 5 other alleged victims are real people who've given real testimonies to the Romanian authorities. And in my opinion, they shouldn't be discredited completely based on the statements of 2 women who were specific.
We're going to say that this is true. Let's be honest, I don't think Tate should go to jail, but I do believe that he owes the 5 women that consider themselves victims some monetary gain. And I am going to say he's a bad guy. He's not a good person. But there are value to be had in what he says.
To defend the Tates. Another straight up lie Andrew likes to try and purport is that he hasn't been involved in the webcam business for an extended period of time.
First off, how long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it. I think 8 to 9 years ago I stopped. It was a long time ago. It was at the early stages of the internet. 10 years ago.
If you just stop saying exact numbers, these wouldn't happen. Like, this wouldn't happen. We wouldn't have these issues where people can just prove you're wrong. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Sith Lord Papa. Really appreciate that. This wouldn't happen if you just stop saying exact numbers. Like, chillax. You're supposed to be a mobster. You got to know how to lie. You got to lie better.
I helped women promote their profiles on the internet. Correct.
He's not lying there.
Firstly, I have not been involved with it for 7 years. It's not how I make money. I haven't touched it for a very long time.
I mean, again, that's not true. But he's also not lying. You should have just said, I haven't done it in years. How many years? Years could be anything more than 2. It would have saved face. Saying 10 is just something that you can prove is wrong.
I believe girls who get constantly naked on the internet are not empowering themselves. They're actually embarrassing themselves. I do believe that. Did I once profit from that 15 years ago? Yes.
First of all, this guy needs to get his damn story straight. Was it 7, 8, 9, 10, or 15 years ago?
It's none of them.
Reason why he can't remember exactly how long ago it was is because he's lying every single time. Here's a tweet from 2020.
Yeah, he's lying dumbly.
He explicitly says, me and my 8 girls counted over $1 million.
You gotta lie and be vague when you lie, so you can't say that it was a lie. Like, what are you doing?
This month in webcam revenue. Here's another one from 2020 where he says, I own a webcam studio. It's no secret. I've never tried to hide it. I don't know how much more clear you can possibly be than that, but
that's the truth, okay?
That he scaled his webcam business back up during the pandemic.
Corona came, it was locked down, my casinos were closed, so I lost an income. I was making $500,000 a month from casinos. That closed because they're physical locations in Romania. And I thought,
you know what? Who else makes money from casinos? Gangsters. It's true. It's true. We're proving his point. This is just an avid gangster doing avid gangster things. It's not really any different than anyone else.
Everyone's at home bored. Let me get the webcam going again. So I got 20 more girls online. We scaled that back up to $300,000 or $400,000 a month. So I got back into the game hard.
These guys are genuinely psychotic when it comes to the lies that they tell on video. Tristan was still receiving income from webcam sites in August of 2022, which was just 4 months before their arrest. And in this tweet here, Luana was advertising her OnlyFans just a few days before the arrest. So for Andrew to pretend like all of this irrefutable evidence that he knows for a fact is out there equates to being 7, 8, 9, 10, or 15
20
years ago is just disrespectful to the general public.
That's why I'm top G. Everything I say is fucking true all the time.
You don't even need to say it's true. All you need to say is that it's believable to most people. And when it's believable to most people, you succeed in life. And that's what it is. He's saying this to people because he knows that he can get away with it.
In my opinion, the most absurd lie that Andrew tells is that the reason he's been arrested for human trafficking is because it's all just some Matrix attack on him and that he's completely innocent of everything.
If you're a man like me who stands up and tells the truth, they already know you're guilty. So they're like, oh, okay, he's guilty of something. Teach him a lesson. I was in jail because I spoke against power, because I told the truth about COVID, because I told the truth about the war in Ukraine, because I told the truth about all of these things.
I don't understand why people would want to put you in jail for giving your opinions about COVID or Ukraine. Why would they?
Why wouldn't they?
It's insane to me that Andrew thinks he can look a 60-year-old man directly in the eyes and tell him that he's been charged with human trafficking because of his personal opinions on COVID and Ukraine. His opinions on either of those two issues...
Because people will believe him. It's simple. This is simple actions.
Are not in any way groundbreaking, and opinions are not even close to the reason why he went to jail. Andrew got his home raided in April of 2022 because of a report to the Romanian police about the unlawful deprivation of liberty involving victim 1 and others, which then led to further investigations into more serious offenses. April of 2022 was months before Andrew even became famous in the summer of 2022. So that fact alone discredits the Matrix narrative 100%.
And by the way, there's no fucking Matrix. Okay, the Matrix...
I mean, this isn't true. Let's be honest here. What he's saying isn't true. There is a... Matrix is such a dumb word. It's not a matrix, but there is people that, like, scour the internet. Okay? No one's gonna lie to you. These guys are stupid. Yes, there's people that despise some things people say on the internet. That's what I consider the Matrix. But at the same time, and what I'm saying here, is that this just isn't true here. Okay? There's a Matrix. It's just not what they think it is.
Get me this, get me that. Hold. Bullshit. Your own words, your own actions is what's putting you where you are.
You would have thought the alpha male self-help guru would actually take some accountability for his own actions, but instead...
Not a single point. That would be dumb. And he ain't dumb. Why would you take responsibility for anything if you can get away with it? That is the alpha male way.
He just chooses to deflect all of his personal problems onto a group of people that he's too scared to even define publicly.
I don't really want to talk too much in depth about who I think they are, because I'm trying to stay alive and I would never kill myself.
Who's they? Who's the bad guy?
Well, instead of saying who, I will say, what I will start by saying is what they do.
What is the Matrix?
The Matrix are a bunch of people who can come up with studies from the sky to say anything they...
I don't understand. What the fuck are you talking about?
I've watched almost...
I mean, I don't disagree with him. I'm not sure if they're from the sky, but it's a group of people that, like, go after certain people for saying things. And I'm not going to say that they don't exist. I'm going to say that they probably do. I'll believe that statement. There's people that just don't like other people and they'll take them off for whatever reason.
Every Andrew Tate interview on YouTube, and I still don't know exactly what or who the Matrix are. The guy is literally fighting against an imaginary enemy. And I gotta give Andrew some credit, the Matrix is the ultimate gaslighting tool. Everything bad that happens to him in life can just be blamed on this inexplicable group, but anything good that happens to him is because of his general
and it's a good idea.
life.
To disagree with me and to step to me in any regard is only to discredit yourself. Because if you cannot acknowledge my supreme abilities and undeniable achievements, then you're nothing but a hater. If you're a hater, you're a little
And by positioning himself against this so-called matrix,
belittling people is another way of really getting someone to abide by your control.
His own actions onto the undefinable group of people, which allows him to create a narrative where no matter what happens, he's the target of an orchestrated injustice and therefore a victim. And this works because he's actually done an excellent job of positioning himself as a martyr. He's one of the top anti-establishment voices in the entire world.
And there you go. Dude. So true. Wow, look at that. Top G. Love this. What isn't this guy great? Yeah, no, I'm still going to say that he's not wrong here. This guy is literally like, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he has said some things that are helpful to people. Even though he may be a little crazy. I think he's still doing the right thing.
He's positioned himself against PC culture, and one thing that actually helps him in terms of being a martyr is that he actually has been targeted and banned by large social media platforms.
That only boosted him more.
Goliath story. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's being unfairly targeted in terms of his criminal case. Andrew is not telling some forbidden or secret knowledge that cannot be shared with the general public. He's just really good at gaslighting his fans, which is why before he was arrested, he made sure to predict...
Impressively good. Impressively good at gaslighting his fans. And not only is he good at gaslighting his fans, he's also good at saying some points that are actually factual. You can't take, like, you're going to say, oh, a liar's a liar. Everything you say out of a liar's mouth, you can't take as fact. That's not necessarily true. Some of his points can generally be considered helpful to some people that admire the way he is. Okay? Just because he may be pimping around doesn't make him a genuinely bad moral standard for everything else he said.
His arrest,
people deserve second chances.
To oppose that arrest without critically examining it.
You get 3 lives when you attack powerful people. They first ban you and try and shut you up.
Uh-huh.
Secondly, they'll put you in jail for something you didn't do. And thirdly, they'll kill you. So,
and he's absolutely right. Those are the 3 stances. He's not wrong. He's right.
I've used my first life, which is kind of upsetting when you know that next is going to be some false charges.
The 2 worst ones.
Yeah, and if you survive the false charges, you just die.
Imagine I never told the world 25 times they're going to put me in jail for no reason. Like the second I went
he
to jail
did
for
tell
no
this. He did
that
tell the
helped
world.
me a lot. So I'm kind of predicting the future as a shield.
Once again, this is just gaslighting. The real reason why he was able to tell his fans he was going to get put in jail unfairly is because after the April 2022 raid, he knew for a fact that he was being investigated, and he most likely also knew that he's done some shady stuff in the past, which is why he started hinting at the fact that he would get arrested for no reason as a way to counter the inevitable.
Which is highly intelligent. But I also am going to say that it's not necessarily false. He may have done that for himself and his own virtue, I guess. His own way of getting himself out of a situation. Because he's not a dumb person. But what I am also going to say is that he wasn't wrong. People do that. They wake up and they put you in jail and then you die.
Up and speaks loudly up against the Matrix. If you do it too loud, too long, sooner or later they see you as a problem. They want you to go away. And there's 3 stages to that. First, they try and delete you everywhere and cancel you like they've done to me. The second stage is put you in jail for no reason. And the third stage is complete.
And by preemptively declaring any future arrest as baseless, Andrew positioned himself as the victim of a conspiracy rather than a suspect under legitimate scrutiny.
If I was telling men to put a wig on and become a girl, I wouldn't be going through any of this legal trouble. Not a single drop of it.
And by the way, Tristan is not just some innocent bystander in all of this. He is just as bad, if not worse, than Andrew.
Don't forget, my girls were making us money too. I was doing the exact same thing, just for the record. I have recruited, I think, although you've worked with a lot, more girls into, I guess, the adult entertainment industry than anyone else. I really have.
I used to think Tristan was the more rational and less hyperbolic version of Andrew, who was just along for the ride, but as usual, I was wrong. This guy is a complete monster. Here's a tweet from his old Twitter account.
On Twitter, just type in "the talisman lives." My @ is lives talisman. You can find.
Technically, in one state, that's 24. Like, he's not lying here. Just, it's gross.
All my opinions there.
And before Tristan was famous, he also used to be very transparent about the fact that he was really into virgin and younger women.
When you run game like me and meet the women who I meet, and roll in the circles I meet, you meet beautiful virgins sometimes. Me, I'll do 2 or 3 virgins a year.
Why? Why would you do it that way?
On how to date a virgin.
Yeah, we're good on that, bro. This guy looks like he's about 30 years old in this clip.
He is 30. He just said he was on Twitter.
Virgin women. And I think the reason why Tristan used to be so openly into younger women is because they're less experienced in dating, which makes them more vulnerable to manipulation and false promises.
One of my main chicks has 200,000 Instagram followers, and I took her virginity when she was 17.
I love kids, Charlie. I love kids.
Tristan.
I would really.
I mean, takes some real balls to say that one too.
Not be screaming that at the top of your lungs.
That's legal, by the way, here. I don't know if it's 18 in your crazy country.
And the fact that Tristan would target younger women has been confirmed in the indictment as well. There's a text message exchange between Tristan and Luana from 2020.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying he's not lying.
You won't teach
He's
her
telling the
to talk.
truth.
She's desperate for money. Good. It's good that she's young. We can control her for a while. Yes/okay. I'll work on her.
Again, it can't be that much more clear, but it's not just young women that Tristan treats poorly.
I'm still going to say that this part is gross. Like, it's definitely a gross statement. He's not doing anything good here.
It outlines how the child's caregiver was specifically instructed to not take care of the child if Abigail, the mother of one of Tristan's children, didn't make content for OnlyFans.
Okay, but hold the phone. If you're not being paid, why would you help? This is an equal opportunity here. You lose something and you gain something.
That's fucking haram. That's atrocious. That's disgusting.
Now, this could potentially not be 100% true, as it's based on a witness testimony. But if I had to bet on it, I'd probably say
it's probably true.
Given the fact that Tristan has a track record,
he hasn't seemed lying.
As the financial provider in relationships against the mothers of his children.
I had to, and this is actually good. I wouldn't, I guess, admit this on a live, but I had to downgrade one of the mothers of my kids from the house she was living. I needed her to understand that you do not fuck with me. And she was living in a 4-bedroom rented house, and I was paying the rent and all the bills. I pay everything. I said, okay, you know what? You want to fuck with me in that way? That's cool. You have 30 days to get out of that house. Here's your new apartment, 2-bedroom. Well, what do you mean? Now your child doesn't have a garden to play in. Well, that's your fault. That is not my fault. Take it to the fucking park.
At a certain point, I think it's fair to say that these guys are just truly despicable human beings. No matter.
I mean, you would at least treat the kid better. Like, dude, like, even the mob doesn't do that. That's pretty bad. There's no defending that one.
No matter what happened with the mother, there's no good reason that the mother's behavior should be making the life of his own child worse. But what somehow does get worse is Tristan's behavior.
Okay.
In the indictment, they mention an audio message that Tristan sent in 2020 where he says,
Primarily, I'm going to work these BES like slaves. I'm going to change blank and make them work more hours, and hours. I work them like slaves. No, work like slaves. Minimum 10 or 12 hours a day.
And Tristan's way of defending this absolutely indefensible statement was to say this.
I work these bitches like slaves. Slave work, minimum 10 or 12 hours a day.
That is not true at all.
Bruh.
So
you never said that?
No.
Or you said it sarcastically?
No, I didn't say it sarcastically at all. That is about my ex-girlfriend cleaning my house.
Looks like lying runs in the family because Andrew and Tristan also spew the exact same garbage regarding their criminal case.
The old webcam studio and the current investigation have zero...
Because they were aligned in this. Like any good liar would be. You get your story straight.
In between them.
Bold-faced lie. The word webcam is mentioned 75 times in the indictment. The webcam business could not be more relevant to this investigation. Pages 266 and 267 are filled with listings of different webcam sites and the exact accounts that the Tates were in control of.
Sure.
And the reason why these webcam sites and accounts are listed is because they're relevant to the investigation, as they show the Tates' extensive involvement in promoting and managing women on these platforms. So as we can clearly tell, Tristan is an extremely honest man who is completely innocent of everything that he's being accused of. As the great philosopher Liam once said, Tristan is an amazing role model for young men.
I mean... with Andrew saying that kind of stuff, I would say it's true, but I think this statement's just straight up wrong. Like, let's be honest here. Like, this man left his kid at the park and then forgot. That doesn't happen.
And on top of that, he's handsome as hell.
I automatically hate on all handsome niggas. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Like, you feel me? Like, cause I'm alright a little bit, but I don't fuck with niggas that's objectively handsome. Like, wow. Like, and he tall, bro.
I mean, it's true.
It's clear Andrew and Tristan should be assumed innocent until proven guilty by the court, just like everyone else. But in this specific case, the evidence has been shared with the general public, and...
It's not looking good, Bev. It's not looking good.
I obviously can't cover all 300 pages in this one video, but to put this case into perspective...
I mean, you've went on 50 minutes of this already.
The prosecutor himself said this, which essentially says that Andrew is not only involved in human trafficking, but has also studied it and then taught others how to traffic women on social media.
Yeah, yes.
Just so happens
is that necessarily wrong?
Where he thought it'd be easier to get away with certain crimes. The prosecutor also says that if the Tates aren't prosecuted, it'll encourage others to commit similar crimes in Romania. And this is coming directly from one of the people who knows this case the best in the entire world. And while I'm definitely not a Romanian lawyer, I will say this: anyone who says the Tates are 100% innocent of any sort of wrongdoing...
Now, I don't agree with that statement, right? They're obviously not 100% innocent. But I don't think they're necessarily bad either. You can't say they're 100% innocent. They obviously did some crappy stuff. But it's not all true, like he's admitting here.
They're irrationally biased or just hasn't looked into the case enough. Even if you're the biggest Andrew Tate fan in the entire world, I think it is almost impossible to review most of the evidence in this case,
because it is,
to all of the other cases and accusations, and still think that the Tates have done absolutely nothing wrong. This case against them is strong. It's not all just pulled out of thin air. I actually got a parking ticket last week. That was just the Matrix trying to attack me. But in the Tates case, there is lots of documentation.
That's a pretty funny meme.
They have thousands of pages of evidence.
There's 12,000 pages.
12,000 pages? And they didn't read it? Dude, the balls that they didn't even read their own court case? That's how much they care. They just don't even, they're like, whatever.
They have access to all of the CCTV footage in and outside the Tates' home, and on top of that, there is hours and hours of footage out there of the Tates admitting to similar crimes that they're now being charged with.
So if you let the girl be in charge of her own phone contact with members who like her, you are setting yourself up to get scammed. All she has to do is type a sort code and account number to a member, and that has happened to me before. I went to the room, smashed the room up, told her I knew what she did, she sent me all the money, but that has happened to me before.
And lastly, laws aside, the way that they're defending themselves publicly is preposterous. And frankly, it should be a crime in and of itself. All they do is lie and gaslight by saying everything is fake, everything is out of context, it's satire, there are no victims, TikTok...
Because that's the smart thing to do.
Tooth Fairy, which makes them look as guilty as humanly possible, because whenever someone tries to defend the indefensible, most of the time, they just end up looking stupid.
You said slave those bitches. You said slave those bitches. Work them 12 hours or more. You're a bitch.
In my opinion, all of that combined puts the prosecution in a very strong position
Okay.
and the defendants in a very bad position. But at the end of the day, this is a criminal trial and anything can happen. The outcome is never going to be guaranteed one way or another, and it is 100% up to the court to decide whether the Tates are guilty or innocent of what they're being accused of.
Do you ever look around you and just look at the world and feel like, kind of like we're in the Matrix, like there's something missing?
Number one enemy of the Matrix. They project a false version of reality in real time that people subscribe to. I'm the enemy of the Matrix.
Everything I've ever said about the Matrix is true.
Most people are starting to realize and wake up from the Matrix and understand there are no political solutions because it's all a scam and it's all a lie.
Despite Andrew's attempts to blame all of his personal problems on the alleged...
I mean, you can blame some of it. Let's be honest here. But, dude, you got to take some of this. You can't blame it all.
Matrix, Andrew is actually the one who runs his own Matrix behind closed doors.
And the reason I call it the Matrix is because a false reality is being projected onto humanity, and they do that by controlling narrative.
Andrew's number one
You're
way
right.
of controlling
They do.
narratives is through disinformation. And the main thing that allows him to spread disinformation on a mass scale is the fact that he generally only does softball interviews with partisan hacks like Blandis Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Patrick Griff David, who are all somehow viewed by many as serious political commentators.
Well, this man is. Like, I fully believe that this man is a great guy. I love this guy. You can take that to the bank. This guy's awesome.
And I mentioned these three specifically because in all of their interviews with Andrew, what they do is intentionally stay ignorant about the actual facts of the case, and they just take Andrew at his word and barely challenge him, which allows him to spread disinformation to every single viewer.
So what are you charged with? That's a really good question. I'm charged with being the head of an organized criminal group, which is in charge of recruiting girls to make TikTok videos to steal the money from the TikTok views.
Recruiting girls to make TikTok videos and stealing the money. So it's really a financial crime?
Even just asking that question shows how negligent Tucker was about researching the case. And what makes this negligence inexcusable is the fact that Tucker...
It's not negligence. That's not negligence, okay? It's that, in his belief, he doesn't need to be morally right. He's asking him because they're trying to prove a narrative because he was already in a narrative. Okay? He doesn't need to look through the files to say all these other points. He has to make sure that this man doesn't look bad because of what he's a part of. You can't, once again, you can't say they're dumb because they're not.
Tucker literally took a 12-hour flight to Romania to do that interview. So he could have just done an hour or two of research while he was sitting on a plane by himself, ripping zins and watching Trump speeches.
I'm a guy, I'll tell you right now, this is what I do. I don't do research.
None?
None.
No Google search?
No Google search, no nothing.
But Tucker chose not to do any research because he's playing sports. So he prioritizes the best interests of his political allies.
And you're right. He's right here. But here's the thing. For good reason. There's good reason and good morals behind that. You can't make someone on your own side look bad. No matter what they have done. Disavowing someone is there's big consequences to that. I'm sure this man had obviously knew exactly what was going on. That doesn't make him a bad person.
for monetary gain over the actual truth. Kind of like our friend.
It's not over monetary
What's happening
gain.
right now is they are wrongly conflating you having run a webcam business, however long it was ago, to the criminal cases happening in Romania.
Keep in mind, in this exact same interview, Candace claims to have read the indictment.
I don't know who this
numerous
is.
Occasions.
And I read the indictment again. I've read the indictment, and I do want to make it clear that is
She read
the
it.
mention given in the indictment of what they're referring to. And they mention OnlyFans.
Correct.
On the indictment page.
So Candace claims to have read the indictment, but then makes the obviously false claim that the webcam studio is being wrongfully conflated with the current indictment for human trafficking, and then she goes on to allow Andrew to spread whatever propaganda he wants on her platform uncontested.
I'll give a very quick rundown on the case. Everything from these old videos, old clips, my webcam company, things that happened 10 years ago have absolutely nothing to do with the
Correct.
case. Absolutely zero. Anything you see from before 2021 has nothing to do with the case.
None of that is true. Victim 5's testimony is 100% based on...
Yeah, but you could also say that these victims are lying too.
2016 through 2018, which last time I checked is before 2021. And some of the old clips from before 2021 are quoted word for word in the indictment.
Okay.
Yet, Candace, who apparently read the indictment, says that these blatant lies are
correct.
So Candace either lied about reading the indictment on numerous occasions in order to make it seem like she actually did research.
No, I don't think she lied. I just don't think she cares.
Or she is lying on purpose to cover for Andrew.
Exactly.
Because it helps her grift to her highly intelligent
There's
fan
no
base.
there's no
really slashing the
Oh, here we go. Here's
Candace Owens.
I compared him to Logan Paul, and here he is. Here's the man, the myth, the legend himself. He shows up to show another dead body in Japan. I'm waiting for it.
I'm just
here he is. Dude. Every word that comes out of this man's mouth, just, it's like verbal diarrhea. I love it.
Another great example of Andrew engaging in spreading disinformation is when he faked having lung cancer in March of 2023 for what I would assume was an attempt to flee the country for medical care. What happened was Andrew and his team intentionally leaked medical records claiming that he had lung cancer. Here's Andrew's close friend and doppelganger, Sterling Cooper, confirming
I wouldn't say they're doppelgangers.
Here's Andrew's other friend and other doppelganger, the sartorial shooter.
Just because they're bald, they're not doppelgangers.
Cancer. He even specifically says, I was the one driving with him to and from the hospitals in Dubai. And in Andrew's interview with Patrick Bet David, Andrew was asked point blank about when he allegedly got lung cancer in jail.
What about these stories that came out that you've got cancer and lung cancer and then you were poisoned and these matrix attacks?
Yeah, so the
Are you planting these stories?
No.
Are they making these things
No,
up?
so the cancer thing is interesting. So when I was at medical scans in Dubai.
His cancer diagnosis was a misrepresentation from where he was from. The difference is he didn't lie about it. He thought he had it. If we're going to compare this to someone who did lie to cancer like Boogie, this man, Boogie, came out without even attempting a diagnosis. At least with Andrew Tate, he released his files that were wrong. You gotta, you're not saying you're lying. He's never lied. He was misrepresented.
A scar, a dark spot was identified on my lung, and I had follow-up tests booked for February. So when, after the first 30 days, I called up my PA, and she said, are you coming to Dubai? I said, well, yeah, if they let me go, at the end of these 30 days, I'll come to Dubai for my medical tests. They took that conversation and used it in court, saying I'm trying to flee the country. I'm trying to escape the judicial system as motivation for the second month's arrest, and the judge agreed and locked me in jail because I said I would go to a medical appointment if I was free.
If the two interviewers had done even an ounce of research prior to this interview, they would have known
that's not true. That's not what happened.
Although I'm not a doctor, these documents clearly state that he had a suspicious lesion that could have possibly been cancer. Not that he has cancer. Yet,
You can inflate this all you want. You can say it's hyperbole, but it's not necessarily a false narrative.
Close associates of Andrews said that it was definitively cancer on the exact same day, proving that this was a coordinated lie that they spread. And just 2 days later, Andrew tweeted, I do not have lung cancer. So which one is it? In my opinion, this proves
See?
that this cancer story was intentionally
And he's
spread
admitted to it, too.
that they later had to walk back because it didn't work in terms of allowing Andrew to leave Romania. So while I definitely don't expect anyone to do dozens of hours of research just to have a conversation with Andrew, if you're going to LARP as a political commentator who's doing a serious interview with him, maybe just an hour or two on the way over would be sufficient. Otherwise, you're choosing to take part in Andrew's disinformation campaign for monetary gain. And I think
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Tucker, Candace, and PBD have all made tons of money by allowing...
And that's a good... You have a good excuse. Money is always a good excuse in this world. Let's be honest. If you're a morally fine person, even if you're morally corrupt, you have good excuse if you have money. Let's be honest. Every single rich person does the same thing. They're not doing anything different.
Allowing Andrew to deliberately spread disinformation on their platforms.
I think a lot of men live in a world now today where they have to lie. Okay. In fact, I
Yeah.
basically guarantee that 99% of men are lying at least 80% of the time.
If you're Andrew...
And you're right. Is he wrong? Is the statement he said incorrect? You ever go try to get a job? You're telling me you never lied somewhere? You're telling me you ever tried to meet a girl and you never lied? Get out of here. Nah.
Drew, it's more like
It's-
100% of the time, because this man will do and say just about anything
Mhm.
in order to manipulate the minds of his followers and try and escape justice. For example, in December of 2023, Andrew tried to use his dying grandmother as a reason to flee Romania. As you can see here from this bounty that they put out in the real world, they were offering money to the 20 people who made the most viewed videos under the specific instructions that were provided. And this bounty actually worked. Back in December of 2023, I remember seeing one of these videos.
Andrew Tate's grandmother is seriously ill and dying. Let me explain. Due to her illness, she is unable to travel. Her last wish is to see the Tate brothers one last time. However, the American embassy is holding them back from visiting America, even though Andrew and Tristan are American citizens. Why is America not letting this happen?
Are they American
so
citizens?
cruel that they will restrict a man from visiting his own family one last time? Comment to spread the news.
By having their followers create these PR stunt videos on their behalf, the Tates were trying to influence public perception of the case and leverage
Any
diplomatic
person would,
pressure
though.
against the American embassy to pressure them into helping the Tates leave Romania, which in my opinion is just silly because there's really not much the American government can do to help them. They've allegedly broken the laws in a foreign country, and the Romanians are investigating and enforcing their own laws, which they have every right to do, especially given Andrew and Tristan's blatant disrespect to them.
Oh no, not a court in Romania.
That's not true. If they get to America, they could so get out of it. They have so many friends here that they'll come up with some weird, dumb excuse. They'll get out of it, no problem. And I wouldn't even worry about it.
The internationally respected Romanian courts. What do you do?
They're corruption-free, as we all know.
Look at it, put me in jail? Put me in jail. You put me in jail, I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Guards. Boom, 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 boom.
If only the Romanian police took bribes. I mean, what a wonderful world that would be.
Of course it's unjust. There's no justice in Romania, unfortunately.
Andrew also claimed that his mother had a heart attack in another attempt to flee Romania.
Well, had a heart attack. Get the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Go hospital later. Have a drink. Cigarette, cup of coffee. Back in the game.
This is a different scenario.
And just like every other sentence that comes out of Andrew's mouth, he completely lied about his mother having a heart attack. According to the court, what actually happened is that his mother called an ambulance after experiencing an undisclosed medical emergency and received an EKG and a cardiac checkup, and she was later discharged. She did not have a heart attack or any sort of life-threatening medical condition which would require the Tates to leave the country. So, although I hope his mother stays healthy and is okay, yet again, Andrew created false information out of thin air and tried to weaponize that false information against the Romanian government for what I would assume was an attempt to escape justice.
What I don't understand is why anybody listens to anything they say.
I know, it is...
Because they've been caught lying so many times.
In addition to constantly spreading false information to try and flee Romania, in an article written by BuzzFeed, they claimed that a group of 4,500 bot accounts tweeted in support of Andrew around the same time that he was arrested in December of 2022. Fake accounts were defined
Just
as
good
those
business.
with less than 10 followers and were created within the last 3 months, which is actually a really smart strategy because, as we all know, justice in Romania is determined by how many likes your Twitter posts get and not by the court. And having to artificially boost
That's incorrect. They are using that to scare the government into saying that there's so many people that like me that if this happened, you'll have some sort of revolt on your hands. It's a scare tactic.
Numbers through bot accounts shows that Andrew wants to appear more famous and well-liked than he really is. It's an attempt at creating social proof to influence
Social
public
narrative.
perception positively, which
Absolutely.
he seems to have some sort of an unhealthy obsession with.
My team analyzed the comments in every single video I've ever made. I get reported every single day with the entire internet. What's said about me, what's good, what's bad, etc. 99% of the comments of anything I ever do is
I bet he's
90% of
that's
comments
true.
on videos are positive. When I got the report from my team and they said 99.4%, I have my own team monitoring social media comments in real time. 99.9% of all comments are on my side. The majority of comments regarding me are still positive. My team analyzed it in real time. All the comments are on my side.
The news movement, which has done a great job of covering Andrew,
Yep.
interviewed one of his former employees named Eli Anpa. And Eli also claimed that Andrew and his team use bot accounts on social media websites.
We have many Twitter employees, we have Instagram employees, TikTok employees. When we want to, we can delete an account. But our preferred method of choice, because deleting is kind of harsh. For small accounts, we can just mark them, and that's it, and nobody really cares. But for bigger accounts, we use a thing called PR marketing campaigns and narrative control, meaning that we have big accounts that side with us, with many smaller, real-looking, human-like accounts.
So if you tweet something against Tate online, both big accounts with ties to the war room and smaller bot accounts will challenge you with a pro-Tate narrative.
Whatever the perceived attack is on the Tate brand, that the marketing, the post, the tweet, the thread, whatever is purporting, we counter that with our Tate bots. We get big accounts to slander the person that's making that thread or that tweet or that post.
And now that we have pretty strong evidence that Andrew has previously used bot accounts to artificially increase his numbers on social media, who's to say he's not botting on other things? Obviously, he is extremely famous.
Dawn is live. I have been live. Hi, Rem. Yeah. We are reacting to Andrew Tate. And I'm going to say that it's been a tough one. Okay, this is definitely more of a tougher thing, but I'm not going to say he's necessarily he's not all wrong, like people are saying.
Regardless, but why should anyone trust that he has 9.6 million real Twitter followers when we know that he's most likely used bots on social media?
Yeah, but the bots that he had was 4.6 proven thousand out of 9.6 million. That's one of those, oh well. Like, do you see how minuscule of a number that is in comparison? Like, you might say I'm picking at straws here, but it's like, so what?
In the past,
I will not compromise my integrity. The one thing people know when they look at me is I'm an integral person. I certainly have morals.
Because Andrew has such good morals,
I mean, that's not a good example. I'm not going to say he has great morals. His moral standard's pretty dumpster.
Matrix to weaponize his fan base against those who speak out against him. A perfect example.
Any person would here.
KSI. When Andrew got deplatformed, KSI tweeted, "Thank God Andrew Tate got banned," and Andrew and his team's response to this was to try and get JJ canceled. This is a message from Luke, Andrew's cousin, in their old Hustlers University chat. Which
I mean, did Andrew Tate get banned off of Twitter? Did he? Nah, he's here. Yeah, 10 million followers. Yeah. No, he's here.
Bounty as well. The world needs to know KSI is a hypocrite who has done horrible things and that he should be cancelled
Is he?
himself. This is the counterattack.
So I did notice, I think it was around August, I was getting like a huge amount of hate. It was kind of weird. I was like, all of a sudden I had people trying to bring up my past.
So Andrew and his boys are using their propaganda machine to engage in the same cancel culture garbage.
If you control the narrative,
They
you
sit
control
for hours
everything.
on end criticizing. They're launching targeted
Every
harassment
large
campaigns,
people use propaganda to ruin someone else.
saying things that they personally dislike.
Isn't there a pang of hypocrisy there?
Mhm.
Well, there's a degree of hypocrisy, but I'm going to be hypocritical, and the reason for that is because I'm rich.
Unfortunately for Andrew,
And he's absolutely true. And he's speaking facts again. Let's be honest. Every rich person does the same thing. Why can't he?
being rich...
Tell you right now, I would. You think I would? Morally good or not, anyone would.
just isn't an excuse to be this hypocritical.
I would never shout for any of the people who disagree with anything I say to be silenced or canceled. I don't think that helps the world.
Those words mean absolutely nothing coming from Andrew, because putting JJ aside, Andrew has an undeniable track record of trying to censor those who speak out against him through doxing and harassing. For example, in August of 2019, Andrew got into a Twitter argument with a man named Mike Stutchberry. Now, I'm not defending this guy at all. As you can see here, this person has tweeted 100,000 times.
Well, we have a real moron on our hands. If you've... Dude. How? But... That's too many times. You have a problem.
Andrew tweets all day, every day. He never stops, and he's tweeted about 13,000 times. So realistically, anything above that, you should be caged. Yet, this guy Mike has somehow managed to achieve 8 times that. But Andrew got so angry at this Twitter-addicted loser that he actually showed up at his house and posted pictures of himself outside of Mike's home.
What a manly thing to do. He's gonna go confront this guy. He's pissed.
Run his mouth to me on Twitter because he didn't like me telling the truth about the world, tell me I'm misogynist and all this shit, and just run his mouth to me. And by absolute freak coincidence, I didn't even try. So I'm like, you know, he lives in Luton. Like, oh, which is where you were from. He's like, yeah, he lives in Luton. Like, and now I was going back to London because I just bought a new Aston Martin back chest. You know, one of them things. You know, you leave Romania on the jet, you go, you pick up your new Aston. What's the first place you're gonna go? And I was like, you know what? By coincidence, he just wrote some more. Oh, hey, misogynist. I was like, so I drove to his house.
Yeah, go check him out.
And he had a full mental breakdown. Oh, yeah, full mental breakdown.
Keep in mind, this isn't even someone Andrew knew or had some sort of personal beef with. Andrew just showed up at this nerd's house and doxed him with malicious intent, and Mike actually had to move because Andrew doxed him.
He actually moved house because of me. He did? Yeah, he left.
What?
What a man. Now that's one way to deal with someone you don't like, and that's one way to deal with a hater. Is it bad? Not, yeah, it's not good, but it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
But look, we all make mistakes. Everyone's due for the occasional crash out every now and then. However, this unfortunately wasn't the only time Andrew did something like this to someone who was
I'm sure it wasn't.
Online. In January of 2022, Andrew got into a Twitter beef with a guy named @ColtyBra because he tweeted saying he would beat Andrew up, which is absurd because it's not even close to physically possible in this case scenario. For years of his life, Andrew used to practice beating people up for multiple hours a day. Nobody is beating him up unless they're also a pro fighter.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
But Andrew's ego got so damaged by this impossible statement that he immediately challenged this guy to a fight, and then, when Colton didn't accept, Andrew decided to post this guy's full home address in different tweets. Then he went on to post photos of Colton's mother and father and where they work. Then
calling him a pussy.
Colton's house to try and intimidate him. And for the cherry on top, he then went on a podcast just to brag about how good he is at destroying his haters.
First I put his street name, then I put his house number, And then when guys turned up at his house,
Hey, you know what that's called? He's pulling a Keemstar, dude. And everyone loved Keemstar because of how much of a douchebag he was.
I had to fly some friends of mine from
He ain't doing anything different than anyone else again.
This took time out of my life.
He knows how to play the internet.
Sold the SUV, then he starts apologizing on the internet. Like, oh, bitch.
Given the fact that what Holton initially said is just not possible, it's really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. If you want to do the back and forth thing, sometimes it's entertaining, most of the time it's not.
Did Andrew Tate face Jake Paul?
His parents and having people show up to his house, then threatening to sue his family into oblivion is way past the line of normality for online beef.
I don't need a reason. You're going to have to defend yourself, regardless. That's the thing about the American legal system. You cannot ignore it. I don't care if it costs me $1 million to take $1,000 out of your bank. You're going to be in court twice a month for the rest of your human years.
That clip gave me AIDS.
What?
I have AIDS.
Fair, to be honest.
Watching this
Fair
30-year-old self-help guru brag about suing someone's entire family because he chose to dox him is just an absolute embarrassment to all.
It's not an embarrassment. You know what that's called? Controlling the narrative. And making people side with you.
If the aliens saw this interaction, we would all get nuked. And I can't even say that it'd be undeserved. This is not the behavior of someone who should be giving self-help advice to anyone, specifically the youth. And all in all, it's just extremely unhealthy on all sides.
Now this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
Another way that Andrew weaponizes his fan base against those who dislike him is by directly telling his fans to defend him when people leave mean comments about him online.
I really want to make it clear, when you're defending me, to try and do it in a respectful way. Because sometimes haters come at me and talk a bunch of garbage. I don't want any of my fans to come along and say, well, you're an idiot, you're ugly, you're this. If you're going to defend me, do it respectfully. Even if people hate me, even if they're insulting me, don't insult them back. Hate doesn't beat hate. It just creates a plot.
Okay.
If somebody says they hate me, explain to them calmly that they don't understand the context. Show them a longer format video.
Although he tried to qualify these statements by
And these sentences are good to put him in a better light.
The message is still terrible. If Andrew chooses not to defend himself from someone, he clearly doesn't care. Otherwise, he'd respond himself. And if he actually cared about his fans, he would tell them that they probably shouldn't waste their time defending him on Twitter or in the comments section, regardless of how respectfully it's done.
I mean, that's not even there's nothing wrong with defending the person you like, and he's saying it to do it in a good manner. I don't think this is a valid point at all.
These people are completely and utterly slave-minded, genuinely slaves. They live inside of a system, and the system they're going to purport and fight to defend is going to destroy them.
And these slave-minded bots don't even defend Andrew in a respectful way. They actually harass and attack the people who speak out against him. For example, in the beginning of 2023, Matt Shea and Vice made a documentary called The Dangerous Rise of Andrew Tate. And of course, Andrew's fans mass dislike this video, and more than a year and a half later, almost every tweet Matt makes, there's Tate fans calling him a DNG, which stands for Dork, Nerd, Geek, and all sorts of other insults, which is clearly not defending Andrew in a respectful way. It is targeted harassment. And not once have I seen Andrew condemn his fans' harassment towards him.
I don't think he ever should. Is it morally wrong? He said it. But would you go against your own fans? No, you're only going to lose public interest if you do that. Never in my life would I ever say you're doing this in a disrespectful way. You're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Matt.
Yeah, just keep in mind that if you leave any sort of negative comments, I'm going to be replying with your IP address.
Andrew and his team have also done targeted harassment campaigns on the alleged victims in his criminal case. Now, keep in mind, before Andrew was arrested, he used to always brag about how no woman has ever come out and said anything bad about him.
And what's actually a miracle, it's actually a testament to how nice I am in general. Not a single woman's come forward. I have no accusations. No woman's come forward saying anything. There's a video and the girls come forward 3 times saying this. I have no criminal charges. There's no charges at all against me. I have not hurt women. No women have come forward saying anything. Zero. No criminal convictions. No criminal record for hurting women. There's nothing on the internet. I have no criminal record from any woman saying that Andrew is a bad person, misogynistic, against me. Not one. No criminal record. No girls come forward saying I've done anything to anybody. No victims of any kind.
And now that women have come out and said he's a bad guy, him and his team are actively trying to silence and harass those women. For example, in a tweet by Tate News, who Andrew has personally endorsed in the past, Tate News revealed the full name of one of the victims, doxed all her online pseudonyms, and posted screenshots of all of her active social media pages. And the only reason why they did this is so Andrew's fans would go and harass her. The victim's identity is supposed to stay anonymous. The reason why the indictment is redacted is to protect the victim's privacy and to prevent harassment or further victimization. And as you would expect, Andrew's fans did exactly that. This guy says her location is on Twitter. She has been targeted and will be taken care of soon. This guy says karma will come back at you for trying to destroy 2 innocent men, and you'll get what's coming to you. And these fans don't even know whether the Tates are guilty or not. That is up for the court to decide.
It doesn't even matter if they are or not.
Are just blindly defending their demagogue and attacking people on their
Which
behalf.
isn't right either. You shouldn't just defend this man without knowing the truth, but at the same time, it's not really about defense. People don't want to be proven wrong, okay? People just need someone to look up to. And let it be the man that's telling them what you can do as a human being. Yeah, of course you're going to defend the guy that's trying to help you. Why wouldn't you?
Which is irrational.
This is, it's not irrational. It's what would happen. It is what would happen.
One of his Rumble videos that I've seen, but obviously I can't show that. He's also suing that same woman for defamation in Florida, and as of now, they're set to go to trial for that. But the judge in that case has ordered that the Tates are prohibited from sending texts, tweets, or making posts on social media that could be seen as intimidating witnesses. So even the judge himself is saying to stop harassing this woman publicly.
God put morality inside of all of us. They're godless creatures. They don't feel a fucking ounce of shame.
He's absolutely
in my
true.
Opinion, the most insane thing Andrew and his team have done occurred at a press conference held to highlight the
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
the alleged victims in the Romanian criminal case. In a beautiful display of morals and ethics, Andrew's lawyer showed up and, you guessed it, started harassing people. Obviously, this systematic harassment goes way deeper than I have time to cover, but this Twitter account @CrayonsMurders has done a great job of covering things like this if you want to see even more. Update: in the process of me editing this video, a random Andrew Tate fan falsely accused Crayons of being a child predator, and as you can see, Andrew replied yes to this tweet, spreading this baseless claim to his massive audience. However, we have undeniable evidence that this isn't Crayons.
My newest coach today literally
doesn't need to be.
Some Jedi Master Yoda wisdom on me.
What did I just hear? What did I just listen to? Controlling a narrative is the best way to get someone to do something. Let's be honest here.
He transported them to Romania. He sheltered them in a house full of sex workers.
When he fussed at me,
he invoked false debts that the girls could never get out of.
This disproves this narrative 100%, as the two people in question sound nothing alike. Andrew later replied to this tweet claiming that Crayons works for an NGO, and once again provided no evidence to back that up either. What Andrew is trying to do here is
discrediting
discredit his critics through lies, and I know
it's a smart tactic.
Based on his cousin Luke's own admissions.
Whenever there's someone who made like a hit piece video on the War Room or anything negative about the War Room, right? There's some YouTube videos out there that exist. You always need to discredit the person who made the video. That is the key. You need to make the person who made the video be a liar.
He's absolutely right.
A dork, nerd, geek,
Mr. Beast tried to do the same thing. Every person with a following who's rich will do the same thing to anyone else. He's not going against anyone else's moral standard.
Destroy the source. There's no other way to do it. Because someone's lying. So it better be that, right?
And coincidentally, around the
same
time this all
We're watching Andrew Tate. Are you doing a 24-hour stream? I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. Why would you think that? Why would you think that? Your tag? Tag has been updated. Thank you, Kay. Thank you. No, we're watching this video on Andrew Tate that was sent to me by a lot of people. And then we're going to play the new Zelda later on We're going to have a small stream, and then we're going to stream when it turns later after I eat and stuff. Although we're only an hour and 16 minutes into this video, and I've been streaming for 2 hours, so I feel like we have a lot to talk about here still going forward.
Took place, Crayon's account also started getting botted, which was most likely a failed attempt to get him banned. So still to this day, Andrew and his personal matrix are coming together and trying to attack the people who speak out against them. And it really makes you wonder, what truth is Crayon's telling that Andrew is trying so hard to suppress?
Probably all of it.
Andrew, or the MCN he works with, also sent me a false copyright claim for a video I made on Andrew when he first got arrested. Now, I don't know exactly what their intentions were with this copyright claim. It could be for doxing purposes, it could be that Andrew is going broke, or it could potentially not even be coming directly from Andrew. I don't know. But if Andrew has anything to do with this copyright claim, that is just rich, given the fact that he often pretends to advocate for free speech.
We need free speech. Free speech allows different ideas. And
This is true.
I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, everything I say is all the people on my side are completely right, all the people on the other side are completely right. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle, but if you delete one side of the argument, you never get the truth. Yeah, that's why so.
I agree with him 100%.
Yeah,
we need
what he's
free
saying is
speech,
100%,
but I
yeah.
also think that anyone who disagrees with my subjective opinions should be harassed, doxxed, and canceled. Andrew really is the best type of free speech advocate.
But at the same time, what he's saying there is, yeah, it's free speech, but he's not doing anything different than anyone else. Any other person would do those exact same things to someone else.
For supporting free speech from the more gullible Republicans who will believe just about anything if it fits their political agenda.
I don't believe that's true.
But on the other hand, he's also issuing false copyright claims on the people who make videos on him, or he's using his fans in coordinated attacks, or he's showing up to their houses or press conferences, or he's doxing them and their families. So whether or not Andrew sent me this false copyright claim personally, clearly there is a pattern of behavior here which is completely different from what he says publicly.
Yeah, for sure.
History books to know that the people who do the censoring are never the good guys, and they've been censoring a lot of arguments for a very.
Anyone who does any sort of censoring at any point is just automatically hated. What he's saying here is 100% true. Censoring something is just the wrong way to handle a opinion or piece of media.
Long time in the name of good. They are weaponizing virtue, and it's always in the name of tyranny. Anybody who is out here trying to silence an entire side of an argument on any subject, whether it's COVID-19, immigration, anything else, they are the evil people who are out for absolute mind control of the populace. Any of these...
What he says there is true, too.
These fake accounts who constantly insult me and spread bullshit, they're also going to be in court for defamation. In 10 years, when this is all over, and I've forgotten about it and moved on, all these people are going to be in court, struggling for their lives, paying legal bills, trying to defend themselves, or endlessly trying to defamate me because I've done nothing wrong.
Nobody can save you but me. Because I am the most perspicacious, compendious, top G, top striker. I've seen all of this coming. I've prepared for all of it. Nothing can happen on the planet that doesn't make me richer.
Okay.
You are poor. You cannot stop me. I'm that guy. You need my help. You have two choices. You either sell your soul to Tate and say, I accept Tate is all-knowing. I will listen to you inside of Puzzles University. Please save me. Or you go back.
I mean, that's a bit excessive, dude. You don't need that. You don't need to do that.
Back where you fucking started, Wagey. Someone has to fucking flip the burgers, dumbass.
Andrew Tate is the greatest fake guru in the history of the world. Now, it's not like that's some sort of monumental achievement. It really doesn't take that much knowledge to be able to repurpose information and talk out of your ass for a living.
It's called not knowing what you're talking about. I'm the king of it. I do it all the time.
But I have to give some credit where credit is due. Andrew has taken the works of Dan Locke, Kai Lopez, Tony Robbins.
Ty Lopez did it pretty well.
And somehow managed to make it cooler.
You need to change your mind. Scarcity is a mindset. You live in a scarce world. I live in a world of abundance. You see how much muscle I have, how many bitches, how much cash, supercars, live in the fucking mansion.
Well, that's just bragging, dude.
You need to be more like me.
Okay, I don't know about cooler, but he really did revolutionize the fake guru game. The only reason why anyone even knows who Andrew Tate is in the first place is because he is a fake guru. The reason why he tweets all day every day, goes on other people's podcasts all the time, and makes videos on Rumble is because he's trying to sell courses. And to his credit, Andrew revolutionized online marketing in 2022. Essentially, what he did was sell his $50 a month course, The Real World, previously named Hustlers University, and his fans would post videos of him, and when someone signed up under their affiliate link, his fans would make commission for each new sign up. He was somehow able to convince his followers to pay him $50 a month to promote him and his content online, and they were getting paid scraps on the back end. And this affiliate marketing strategy is the only reason why anyone
it's a
knows
pyramid scheme, sure.
Andrew has been making content consistently since 2016 when he and his brother started a series called The Hateful Tates, but it never really took off, nor did Andrew's fame.
Okay.
The guy was a Z-list fake guru who would do and say just about anything for attention before he blew up.
The only water I drink is sparkling water, because sparkling water is for rich people. You know what? So many women say to me, "You're so, Andrew, you know what? You're so rich,
True.
you're smart, you're actually very intelligent, and I know you get really bored of it like a robot." I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I wish to God you were a robot. Who the fuck drives a Tesla? There's no man alive in a Tesla I couldn't keep the living fuck out. I'll drag you from your Tesla by your neck in front of your bitch, and you won't do nothing. What kind of full-grown adult deliberately, not on accident, deliberately eats sushi?
Breathe air. You don't need a vape. Have you ever seen anyone with a vape?
And I think that's part of what makes this strategy so smart. Andrew had years of backlogged yapping that his fans could repost for free and make money off of. And obviously it has worked. As you can see here, two of the other most popular fake gurus that I can think of, Grant Cardone and Tai Lopez, haven't been able to achieve even a fifth of Andrew's fame, and he didn't even have to do a majority of the work himself.
Oops, I'm a genius.
So his entire business model was literally built off of exploiting the exact same people.
Wait.
Business claims to
It's pretty.
I've got all your backs.
It's pretty much a
I'm here to
pyramid
tell
scheme.
the truth. I'm martyring myself. They're trying to destroy me and put me in jail because I'm standing up for you.
You're wrong.
But there was one
Pyramid
major
schemes
problem with
are one of the
Andrew's
quickest
strategy.
way to make
He
money.
used to constantly
And everyone
admit
knows
to
it.
committing crimes
Everyone
on
does it.
video,
Is it
and
illegal?
a lot
Yes,
of the
but
proof I've shown in
people
this
do it
video
legally.
has actually been posted by Andrew's fans themselves
Okay.
in an attempt to market his courses. And given the fact that Andrew knew that he's probably done some shady stuff in the past, and that when he first decided to utilize this affiliate marketing strategy, he knew he was currently being investigated by the Romanian government, it was actually delusional for him to use this strategy to try and become famous. He
Why?
was paying people to post clips of him to try and go viral, but he had no way to filter or curate those clips. For most people, that's totally fine. But if you're Andrew Tate, that is a recipe for disaster.
April.
That was her name.
That was her name. And I was like, you're a hog. So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck. What about me? 21, I don't care. Once you're 18, if you want to get yourself a real man, I know a guy.
You do.
I do, yeah. I do know a guy.
You know, you said it looks like I'm in a teenage girl's bedroom.
Yeah.
To some people that would be an insult, but to me, I find that quite flattering. To be honest.
This guy is like the testosterone, the balls off of this guy, dude. It's admirable.
I walked in there and said, listen, I've committed multiple felonies. Am I going to go to jail?
Logically, if you know you've done potentially illegal
Felony.
things in the past, and you know that you've admitted to them on video,
Uh-huh.
it's best to just be as low-key as possible. There is no rational way you can explain...
Not true. The best way to get out of saying something is to continue saying it and just being the way you are. Like, if he kept low-key and this never happened, you just got away from it, you know what would happen? They would find him and go to jail. But because he's so big, people love him, it's a much harder.
Actions in the order that he did them. Andrew is genuinely an idiot who thought that he would never get in trouble for anything.
If I fuck up and England wants me in jail, I can fly on a Nigerian passport, or an American, or an English, or a Polish, or an Estonian. I have so many passports. What, are you gonna block them all? They can't stop me traveling. There's always a passport I can pull out. There's always a driver's license I can pull out. If you ban one, I've got another one.
So, although the end result of him using this strategy was extremely profitable, it also exposed his potentially illegal activities to a global audience.
You're dumb as fuck. You're a moron.
And if you really look into his past and really pay attention to the way he talks, Andrew is nothing but a stereotypical fake guru who's just become the most successful at it, and he has been scamming people for years now. The most profitable scam Andrew currently runs is The Real World, which I mentioned earlier. It's
Okay.
essentially just regurgitated information that teaches the basics of online businesses like copywriting, e-commerce, stocks, and crypto trading.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
It sounds like a bunch of commie gobbledygook because that's exactly what it is. I was able to gain access to some of the courses without paying for it because I'm a genius, and in my opinion, The Real World really isn't the worst thing out there. But my issue with it
Yeah,
is the
it's
fact that
it's
there
not that
isn't much
bad.
information provided that you can't find online for free. For example,
Sure.
if you want to learn e-commerce, there are hundreds of people on YouTube who will teach
Yeah,
you
but it's
how to
not
make
Andrew
money
Tate,
doing
though.
e-commerce.
That's what we're
Who
talking
don't
about
need
here.
to charge you $1 because they get paid in ad revenue. If you're gonna buy any sort of course, it probably shouldn't be for something extremely vague like The Real World, where they're trying to teach you 20 different things at once. Ideally, courses should be for niche things that are hard to learn online for free. For example, Andrew's pimping hose degree actually used to offer some really good advice.
Also notice I put cherries on there.
Yeah, advice how to be a pimp, sure.
When I said, why, where are you hiding? Why did I put cherries? Who the fuck knows? Your guess is as good as mine, friend. It just makes my messages different. Because no one gets messages with cherries. If you motherfuckers start putting cherries in your messages, I'm going to come over and beat the fuck out of you. It's my thing. Choose a different fruit.
See, if you just pay $400 to learn how to put cherry emojis in your Instagram DMs, it's basically a shortcut to getting laid.
Yo, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, man, I'm loving your content, bro. Thank you so much, Andrew.
What?
You're making
It's
me
so
fall all the
funny.
love, bro. It's all thanks to you.
Anyways, the target
'Cause he
demographic
looks
for The
like
Real
it.
World are young men who, ironically, haven't really entered
Okay.
into the real world yet. Andrew's handler, Iggy Semmelweis, aka Merle from Wizard 101, said himself on Twitter that their primary demographic is school-aged boys aged
12 to 18.
So they're aiming for people who are young.
Because kids make you the most money. Where it's obvious. Anyone would do the same thing. I'll be back 1 minute here. Back 1 minute. All right, I've returned.
And still figuring life out.
Hi Andrew, my name's Ryan, and
Okay.
I'm 5 years old, and I was wondering if I'm old enough to start making money with the real world. Thanks, bye.
And I don't have
I mean,
a bad thing to say about those kids.
Yeah, if you're
Say about Andrew, because the fact of the
at
matter
any
is,
age,
for
you can
most
start
people,
making money.
Things like copywriting and e-commerce are not good strategies to make a lot of money. The real way to make money off of those things isn't by actually doing those things. It's to build an online brand which centers around self-improvement and find people who've been disenfranchised in one way or another and convince them that they need to buy this new course of yours if they want to become successful.
A guy's sitting there right now watching this, and I got my last grand, dude, and I got Christmas coming. Should he spend it on this?
Absolutely. As the old saying goes, those who can't
What a
do,
great way to market.
The reason why fake gurus like Andrew and Grant Cardone don't spend their days drop shipping or crypto day trading is because it's infinitely more profitable for them to just sell courses to other people on how to do those things. And the end result of that is that most customers don't even make a decent return in a majority of cases. And I'm not just speculating when I say that.
Probably,
Here's a screenshot
yep.
from the real world which shows the top 25 highest earners in the last 24 hours in one of their campuses. And as you can see, the 25th highest earner made
$65. Wow.
And according to their own website, they have about 113,000 students. So this proves definitively that
Yeah, we can say that that
the
proves
real world
that
is
it's
making
less.
money per day than someone who works at Arby's making meat mountain sandwiches on a Tuesday afternoon.
No school, no business school, no university will guarantee you month on month you make out more than you put in.
And yet, JCPenney said marketing is everything.
The real reason why
And he's good at it.
The real world for only $50 a month is so he can funnel his students into his more expensive courses. This is known as the foot in the door sales technique, and this works because most people aren't making more than they're spending in the real world. So after Andrew gets their foot in the door, he capitalizes on
Any
that
microtransaction video
to
game
sell
does the
them
same thing.
additional
I'm not gonna lie.
so he can extract the
He's
most
not.
amount of
He's
money.
doing any scummy person would
For
do.
example, Andrew just started selling something called the Council.
So
I'm sitting here at my table making very important decisions. That's what you do when you're in the highest echelons of masculine capability. You make very important decisions. And I've decided that I now want a council. A council from the real world. Because as our power continues to grow, we're now reaching a point where we can move Earth.
Dude, what the f? Why are you f***ing here, man? You're so old. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude.
The Council is supposed to be some sort of a secret society inside of the real world where you can apparently influence the direction of the platform, connect with the professors personally, and on top of that, you get the special privilege of helping Andrew pump and dump garbage meme coins.
Because the easiest money play in history is to join the real world for $49. Get your tokens and wait for them to go up. So what I think we should do is, we should link the amount of tokens you get in an airdrop to your status within the real world. Members of the council will get the most. Join the council, buy the courses tab.
Andrew is charging $2,000 a year for this trash, and unfortunately, this isn't the only upsell. The guy has a scam for every budget. So he also sells
Of
something
course he
called
does.
The War Room for the low price of only $8,000. And according to the website, the War Room is a global network in which exemplars of individualism work to free the modern man from socially induced incarceration.
Well, let's just say the knowledge of the words are too high for me right now, so I'm gonna just say no.
They keep the marketing for the War Room intentionally vague to build some sort of mystique around it, but before Andrew was arrested, I think it was just a group of men getting together and plotting how to get women into webcam and OnlyFans for financial gain.
Inside of the War Room, I teach what I know. And if you are interested in learning how to run girls on OnlyFans, how to run girls on webcam, how to make money the way I do, then get inside the War Room.
So you guys understand, inside of the War Room, we have a specific group for webcam and OnlyFans. So inside the War Room is over 90 guys making money with webcam, and over 50 guys making money with OnlyFans. And all the guys who make money with these systems are in a chat group, talking in real time, helping each other all the time. So if you do want more support, if you see yourself making money with this, you start to make some money, you want to talk to other guys doing the same thing, you get tips, tricks, advice, etc. Join the War Room, and after you join, you'll instantly be added into the correct groups.
After the arrest, Andrew has tried distancing himself from the War Room, and of course they're now claiming it's about self-improvement and all that other garbage, but in reality, it's just a bunch of BS.
Any
designed
good
to lure
manipulator would.
people in to later upsell them into more garbage.
So you join the war room, you pay a set price, and then there are events, and you make a lot of money off the back end of the events. If you speak to a salesman, they'll be like, the war room's complete, you don't need to pay anything, there's no obligation to buy anything once inside, and technically there is no obligation.
So the war room offers members other courses which cost even more money, and the leak chats we've got hold of back this up. The operator course, for instance, is offered for £2,000 a head, and it's claimed to have had 300 plus graduates. So that's 600 grand in income.
And the margins are actually really, really huge because some of the events maybe cost $500, maybe $1,000 per head to run it, and they'll charge you $12,000, $18,000 on the back end. So times that by like 40 or 50 people, those are like to be made. There's actually quite a few members who put in excess of $250,000 towards these courses, towards these events, which is a lot of money. The best customers in marketing are repeat customers.
But in my opinion, the absolute worst thing about any of Andrew's courses nowadays,
And you think he doesn't know that?
content of the courses itself, but the black-pilled fear-mongering that he constantly spouts in an attempt to sell more courses.
Unfortunately now, if you're a law-abiding man inside the Matrix, your future and the life that is laid out for you is nothing but depressing. You're going to go to school, you're going to get in debt, you're going to get a job, you're going to get a wife, divorce is coming, you're going to lose the house eventually, your job's shit, inflation's outpacing your wages, you're going to work, no one's going to appreciate it, now you're old.
And that's probably true. It doesn't matter if it's scare tactic, black pill, whatever you call it. He's saying probably the truth to most people. Because it probably is. Let's be honest here.
That is the Matrix for 99% of men, and you need to find a way to escape it.
The way Andrew's sales pitch is set up, he has a monetary incentive to scare people into believing all the systems in today's society are corrupt and destined to collapse.
The educational system's a scam, the financial system's a scam, the judicial system's a scam, the medical system's a scam.
He almost sounds like me a little bit.
Now, you ready? Let's go back for a second.
The education system's a scam.
Education system here in the States is complete garbage. Teachers don't get paid enough, and they don't really care about their students. And if you go into university, you're going to pay an outrageous amount, and you can't get a job from it.
The financial system's a scam.
Inflation is so bad, very few percentage of people own most of the money. No one can survive. Wages are going down. Tips are through the roof. Okay, sure.
The judicial system's a scam.
People are being arrested because of political viewpoints. Arrests happen in just random cases. Someone doesn't like someone, you call the cops on them, you arrest them. You can't handle things in a manly or correct manner.
Scam. The medical system's a scam.
These flies are here. Medical system absolutely is a scam here in the States. Insurance doesn't cover anything. Things are outrageous. You pay so much for any sort. If you're going to the hospital and you're sitting in the hospital for a week, it's like going on vacation. You're paying $4 or $5 grand.
He almost sounds like me a little bit. Everything he personally
did anything. I don't think he was wrong. Single thing he said that was wrong there.
Dislikes is just a scam, but whether or not any of the fear-mongering he does is even true, it means nothing coming from Andrew, because he isn't saying these things out of the kindness of his heart. He probably doesn't care about society and how to fix it. He's saying these things because he wants to scare people into buying his proposed solutions to these problems.
Facial recognition on every corner, like I said. 15-minute cities, like I said. They'll control your money, they'll control where you go, they'll control if you can fly or not, they'll control your food. The AI is going to be a little camera in the corner, linked to your mobile phone and your national ID. Once a lot of the populace become useless, which is going to happen by AI as well, all the low-skilled jobs can be replaced. The average man's not going to be able to compete in the labor market.
And it's true, too. What he said here is true. All the low labor is going to be replaced by AI, and as a masculine man with no education and being a moron, like some people are just stupid. There's nothing you can do about being stupid. Some people are just stupid and they don't learn. Your jobs are gone. You're going to get paid less. AI's taking them. No other way to put it.
It's going to be a form of communism where you need the government to feed you. They're going to control you, they're going to get you by the backstrings, and they're going to strangle you.
Society's broken. So
Yep.
it's kind of amazing how my solution, Hustlers University, an online educational platform.
What an obvious
Andrew doesn't have the
ad.
solution to anything. Making less money than a backup janitor doing drop shipping part-time isn't helping anyone escape the Matrix. Andrew himself has made more money than most ever will. Yet, he was thrown in a jail cell for what he claims was a Matrix attack. So by his own definition, he hasn't even escaped the Matrix himself. So whether or not these predictions are true is irrelevant, because his motivation in saying those words is to make vulnerable young people feel compelled to buy his courses.
Any man
Sure.
with any kind of money
You have my network, which is the War Room, which is the premier network in the world. And besides us, I don't think there's anything else. But you need to be very, very understanding of the fact that if you're going to stay inside the Matrix and be a fully law-abiding citizen for the next 10 years, you're going to get crushed.
Yeah.
You're going to get crushed.
So in terms of future jobs that you would like to do after you graduate, what are you looking for?
I'm an Andrew Tate fan, so jobs are for losers.
Pardon?
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, the Romanian guy.
Well, he's just a moron. Okay, this is just a moron over here.
The bald guy.
Tell me why you want to be like Andrew Tate.
He says to escape the Matrix. Matrix is like a bubble made by the government. Like, just to be in there, to be slaves, they give you money to work for them at 9 to 5, that's it. I want to get rich.
It's a scare tactic that he uses against his fans to try and create dependency on his solutions. If those are his genuine opinions, I don't care. But in this context, this nihilistic, defeatist attitude...
Here's the
is
thing.
Only being...
He's right about all those things, but his solution isn't necessarily good, and you don't need to pay him. I think he's spitting facts. Not necessarily about getting a job. You should get a job. But what he's saying is true. Just keep doing what you're doing and realize that, yeah, most things are out to get you in this world because this world is an evil place.
Being verbalized for profit. And at the very least, if you're gonna be black-pilled, you might as well just go all in.
My family, your family, none of us are going to make it. There's a post-human era coming, the breakaway civilization, the deal's been made. It's not It's not the third dimension. They've made frickin' deals with interdimensional aliens.
Okay.
In all seriousness, obviously you shouldn't delude yourself from the realities of the world.
I mean, the man, the myth, the legend knows what he's saying. Depends. It really depends on what you think here. I don't know. Alex Jones is it really. I mean, you gotta. Not everything. But again, you have to realize what part's dumb and what part isn't with all of these people. You can't take everything as facts, okay? But you can at least admit that there's some truth behind some of these statements. And you don't need to go all in with any of this.
But as Andrew himself often says,
I refuse to believe in things that take my power away from me. I'm only going to construct
That's a good idea.
a model that allows me to be as powerful as possible.
The guy who goes on 20-minute rants on every podcast about how depression isn't real because it doesn't benefit his mental state is also the most defeatist and pessimistic loser on the entire internet. And over an extended period of time, I would assume that this behavior makes people feel hopeless and, dare I say, depressed.
You need to get out of the Matrix, my friend. You're a slave in the Matrix. You need to get out. You need to join my Hustlers University. What's your credit card info, my friend?
Besides the real world, my favorite Andrew Tate scam that no one ever talks about is the formidable Forex powerhouse course that he used to sell back in 2019.
I keep getting asked. People keep saying to me, Andrew, why have you launched a Forex trading academy when you already had the Bitcoin War Room Trading Academy? What's the difference? Well, the difference
No
is
one asked
crypto
him.
and Forex. The War Room Trading Academy, you can make a lot of money, but you need a deeper understanding of cryptocurrencies. I've had a lot of people come to me and say, look, I'm old school. I don't care about cryptocurrency. I want to keep my money in dollars. I'm very comfortable with my money where it is. I don't want to start buying Bitcoin, moving things around, etc., etc. I want to make money. Is there anything we can do? Yes, we can do the Forex. That's the entire point of it. We are making so much money in the Forex program. I'm going to give you something that I didn't give anyone for the Bitcoin program.
Yeah, all of that is complete and utter garbage. If we take a look at the forums on Forex,
Who's going to say he's not good at making money, though?
And look up Andrew Tate, almost
The
everyone
lesson
who posts
out
about
of
the
this
course says
is
that it was
really
a
you got to
scam.
learn how
According the
to
people on the
manipulate
forum, this was a
people on the internet.
$2,000 course where they weren't even teaching any sort of technical analysis. Andrew was just selling signals, so they were basically just telling people when to buy and sell certain currencies, which is a horrible idea. If you're going to trade any sort of commodities, you need to actually learn the fundamentals of how to trade, not just copy other people's trades. Andrew was also straight up lying in the marketing for this program. He claimed to have a professional trading team from Dubai on a $1 million retainer, which was a complete lie. There's evidence that shows that they were copying trades from another Forex signals group called Gold FXCC. Here they copied this trade word for word just 8 minutes after. They copied this trade 3 minutes after. this trade 2 minutes after, and again, this one 2 minutes after. So based on the evidence, these probably aren't all just coincidences. Their entire business model was most likely just buying another person's service and selling it at a large markup.
It's all a scam.
It's on black and white.
It's all the
It's a scam.
Matrix. It's all a scam.
I agree. In this marketing email, he also claimed that the alleged trading team had an average winning ratio of 80%, which is an offensively bad lie. If the trading team was that good, he wouldn't be wasting his time writing essays to email to people to try and sell courses. He'd be trading Forex 24/7, and he'd probably be a trillionaire by now. It was also alleged that the only way you could get a refund was by following their exact trades and risk management for a year straight, but the problem with this is that you would just lose all your money before the year was over, because in the paragraph above this, this customer states that the alleged trading team were red on 15 trades in a row, which is impressively bad. So I think it's fair to say this Forex Trading Academy was just a straight up scam.
He pulled a Logan Paul right
If
there,
this weren't a
baby.
scam and Andrew did deliver on everything he promised in that course, why wouldn't Andrew still be selling this exact same product for the exact same price today? It was a digital product. If it worked like he said it would, there would be no need to stop selling it. But instead, he removed all traces of this course from the Internet Archive, and to the best of my knowledge,
Because he was doing
hasn't
bad
even
with it.
bothered offering a refund to any of the people who bought
Why
this
would he?
course from him after
They
not
gave him the
delivering
money,
on
and no
almost
one's yelling
any of
about
his
it.
promises.
We just need to instigate. We need to instigate a culture of receipts, and we need to instigate a culture of honesty.
As we all know by now, Andrew is a very honest man, and that is exactly why he also happens to have a very shady track record
Of
in
course.
crypto. Now, no one should be surprised that Andrew Tate is also a crypto scammer on top of all the other stuff. In fact, if he were just a crypto scammer, he'd somehow manage to be more righteous than he actually is. But back in May of 2023, Andrew posted this
Cryptos.
tweet, which at the time was his only tweet ever, which included a cash tag. And then someone immediately launched a crypto coin using the same cash tag that Andrew tweeted. And of course, the coin got pumped and dumped and is now down 99%. And what makes this promotion suspicious to me is that about an hour later, Andrew tweeted again using that same cash tag, essentially saying that he didn't know someone would launch a coin with the same name that he just so happened to use in his tweet, which is a complete lie. And Andrew knows that for a fact.
If I type a word on Twitter, millions of dollars go into tickers based on that word. If I say certain things on camera, millions of dollars move. Do you understand my power? I'm a genie.
So, although
I'm
Andrew
a
might not
genie,
have
huh?
created its Bloods token
Yeah.
himself, he did in fact promote it to his fans. It got pumped and dumped, and it's now down 99%. Then he
But he's not
pretended to be
blamed for
ignorant
it.
about the fact that he was promoting a coin to his 9 million plus followers on Twitter. He didn't trip and fall and write the cash tag in 3 different tweets. No non-virgin is out here promoting random meme coins or NFTs just for fun or as a joke. The only logical reason someone would do that is because it personally benefits them in one way or another. And this wasn't the only time Andrew used crypto to benefit himself. In February of 2024, Andrew tweeted this, which essentially says that he's going to launch a coin backed by $100 million of his own money, and he'll let the real world members in early so they can make money. And at the time, he didn't even bother actually following through with this. So either he didn't even have the balls to scam his fans once he got some pushback for
Okay.
it, or what I think is that it was a deliberate lie to get people to sign up for the real world, because he later deleted this tweet, and when he was asked about it in an interview a few weeks later, he said this.
Are you going to launch your own crypto? No. I'm never going to launch a crypto. I just like to with crypto Twitter. Because crypto Twitter are full of the biggest degenerate losers on the planet. They're losers. Crypto is the only scenario I can think of where you can make a whole bunch of money while benefiting societies.
So, although he didn't
Okay,
scam
yeah,
his fans
sure.
with the specific crypto coin in this case scenario, he did lie in writing, then deleted the evidence, and then didn't offer a refund for anyone that signed up based on the false pretense that he would launch the coin. And this wasn't even the only time Andrew used a lie to get people to sign up for the real world. In August of 2023, Andrew tried to create some sort of alternate universe using AI called Planet T, which was just so bizarre. I'll just let Andrew try and explain it.
Well, I want to see this.
You're going to be citizens of my brand new planet. You see, what's so interesting is
is that when you earn $1 here on Earth, you own a percentage of the Earth. You own a percentage of all the currency on the planet. It may be a small percent, but you still own some. And inside of our new reality which we are building, you will also have a chance to own a percentage of the planet. You will literally own the future. When we teach you how to use AI at Hustle University, it's not only so you can earn money here on Earth, it's also so you can build and construct a new future which you will literally own a percentage.
You're yapping. What are you saying, bro?
I have no words to even describe how insane this is. Here, Andrew claimed that the founding members will own a percentage of the future. He also said Planet T will be worth more than some countries. He even compared Planet T to Bitcoin at $1 in 2011.
Now,
and of course,
obviously this is hyperbole, and he's using it to make money. And he knows how to build things up, okay? But there's no excuse other than this is a scam. Anything to do with his crypto or his courses is a scam. I'm going to say, other than that, you can leave him out of it.
Delivered nothing that was even remotely comparable to what he said. In fact, on the initial launch day for Planet T, it was completely locked.
So I signed up yesterday. I was hoping to get access to this new planet, hoping to buy a piece of property, buy some land. So when I joined up, I kind of searched around the real world, looking around, didn't know how to access like the platform that well. After joining, searched around, then I noticed Planet T was locked. So I'm not sure if I was too late or what's going on with this.
And it's now been more than a year, and Planet T is basically not worth anything to anyone because it has never benefited anybody besides
Of course it
Andrew.
wouldn't.
And then he just stopped talking about it, even though, according to Andrew,
Like
it
any
was supposed to
scammer
be
would,
the
just like
future
Logan Paul or
humanity.
Jake.
So once again, Andrew overpromised.
He's getting hated when other people don't get hated. That is my whole argument to this video.
And then he didn't even bother offering a refund to anyone who signed up for the real world based on this lie.
I'm not going to lie to people because that's lying to God.
In the past few months, Andrew has been shilling
That's
a
true.
lot of meme coins on Twitter, and as you could probably predict, the reason why he's doing this is because he's still trying to scam his fans for money. Before we get into that, we have to understand the only way these coins that Andrew promotes could ever have any sort of value is through nothing but speculation, which is driven by the greater fool theory, where investors buy it hoping to sell it to someone else at a higher price, despite it not providing any actual value to the world.
That's what meme coins are. We have a whole generation of youth who are just gambling.
You're that and the lottery, man.
That's it.
That's it.
They're gambling. We have people who are going to work.
You're
working
absolutely
at Starbucks,
gambling.
getting
That's
their
exactly
monthly
what's going
pay,
on.
just sitting
Ricky,
there
how's it
selling
going?
meme coin and gambling because they know their only way out is to gamble their way out.
The coins Andrew promotes.
How's it going? I'm literally on the defense of Andrew Tate here. It's unbelievable that this has been sent to me so many times. I see you, Jane, by the way. Don't think I don't. But yeah, we are defending a man from really good problems. Going good. How are you? I'm doing good. And I don't think Andrew Tate's 100%, right. I don't think he's a good person. He's obviously done these horrible things. I'm just saying he's unfairly judged. He's being unfairly judged. Because other people do these things. The moral standard, it just isn't there.
Are just gambling because their prices are mostly based on hype and not utility. So the only way to profit off of them is at the expense of other investors.
We're watching this video. We're gonna take a little break after we watch the video, and I'm gonna eat, and we either will be back later tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna play the new Zelda or something. Been working on my car lately. Needed a break from doing it. I haven't seen you streaming as much. I've been catching it now that I've stream cord. It basically tells me when everyone's happened. But I had a bit of drama with another streamer, and it was over this guy actually. But it was really annoying. I'm just glad you're back. Honestly, I'm just glad you're here. I haven't been streaming as often. I've been mostly making videos on YouTube, trying to grow my YouTube audience more than anything. But stuff like this, I'm enjoying it again. I am. I'm having a good time. Emmy, you followed. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, you're the. You made us 2150. 21. What a nice number. I love that number. Thank you so much for being here. Poggers? I do love poggers, and I do thank you. I'm having flies, but I'm pissed. We are on the defense of Andrew Tate here. I'm taking a controversial side because I can, and I'm pissed. So we're taking the side. He's not necessarily completely right, but I'm definitely going to attempt to defend this man against some problems. Yeah, oh no. Politics scared? No, I'm not defending his politics. I'm defending that other people in the same scenario he is in, he's being unfairly, like, prosecuted for it. Like, other people don't get prosecuted for what he has done as well. That's the whole thing I'm looking at here. And then we're going to play the new Zelda later.
$10 after buying it for $1. Because
but yeah, how was your Overwatch stream, dude? Did you win many ranked games? When I was in there, some people were talking to, like, yelling at you over mic.
Buying it at $10. Someone is out to lose. So you can't launch a coin and nobody loses. This is why I haven't launched a crypto. I can make $10 billion today if I launched a crypto, but I refuse to do it because people are going to lose under my name.
It all started in June of 2024 when Andrew tweeted, "Everyone sent
Zelda later, say less."
Now, my theory
okay.
is that he pretended
yeah, you're right.
Fans just sent him random coins, and he just started promoting.
I haven't eaten today, so I'm gonna make food after this video's going because this is probably gonna be like another two hours. Listen to this little bit here, and then we're gonna play the new Zelda.
Members, so he and his buddies could make the most amount of money. And I
right.
only say that because that's basically what Andrew said he was gonna do back when he was still
normal.
We're almost at 15.
Val not made me, but like she was playing on console. I used to play Overwatch on console, and I never got higher than Diamond. Even though Bob was like super good, I used to play with him. But Val moved to PC, and I actually got a nice computer now. So I moved to PC, and I only played a little bit with her. I can't, dude. I don't know if it's just me. I'm just so used to playing with a controller that like playing with a mouse and keyboard. I can do the mouse, but I mean I can't do it. It's so hard for me to do a keyboard.
1,000 students. Once we get to 25,000 students, we're going to start affecting markets. Am I allowed to say this on YouTube? Don't care. Top G. Trigger Dawn. Say what I want. SEC. Come from me. I'm in Romania. There ain't no SEC in Romania. We're fucking scammers. You know, we're fucking scammers. We're out here doing...
I'm not defending that he's not a scammer. He did literally what Logan Paul did with... Nah, that's fair. Adjusting from controller mouse keyboard is hard. Yeah, it is.
The first coin Andrew started promoting was RNT, which stands for Real N-Word Tate. He tweeted about it more than 10 times, and he also made this video promoting RNT and the real world.
If you believe in me enough to buy the token, Tate, and you believe in me enough to pump it, then you should believe in me enough to sign up for the real world.
See, we have literally... This is the problem I'm having. All right? His supposed sex and women trafficking, I'm going to say that's not that bad. Okay? He probably did it. But there's enough evidence that I would say it's not so bad. The, what do you call it? Teaching young men stuff, the black pill or whatever. Fine, you can do that. But I can't, you're going to go get food and lurk? Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I really appreciate that. If you scam with courses or with crypto, you can't defend that. This part you can't defend. This is just bad. This is why Logan Paul lost so much of his audience. The thing is, they never lose their reputation from it. They don't. It doesn't happen. Any other person would do the same thing to make money. It's what goes on.
Believe in me or you don't. If you believe in me, you're a student of mine, and you don't believe in me, get fucked. I don't care what happens to you. Don't care about your bag. Don't care about your money. Only my students are gonna win.
Even his students didn't.
Exactly. He's saying things as facts. That's what you have to do to get people on your side.
complete 180 on Andrew's previous takes on promoting
true.
crypto coins.
Let me make something very clear to the world. I do not endorse any crypto. I do not want anybody who is associated with
Of course you don't.
to lose. I don't
Yeah.
want any of my fans to lose. I don't want any young children who believe in me to lose. I don't want anybody to lose a single penny.
Andrew does want his fans to lose, which is why around the same time, Andrew also promoted another meme coin called Top G Coin. Here, he tweeted directly at the project's Twitter account saying that if they tweet the N-word at him, he'll publicly burn his shares in the coin, and he later did burn his coins. The point in doing this is to create a buzz and inflate the coin's value by creating controversy and a false sense of scarcity.
Okay.
But, unfortunately for Andrew's fans, this strategy did not end up working very well, as Top G Coin is now down 99%.
Of course.
High.
The idea of a 16-year-old spending their last money on a coin because I said so, and them losing money would bother me at night.
And they will lose it.
And they will lose. Of course they'll lose.
So now
Of course they will. Yeah, why wouldn't they? He knows it. We all know it. But he knows what to say to get people on his side. Public speaking is a... How do you say it? Public speaking is a form of an ability that most people just don't have. If you know how to talk to get people on your side, you can do almost anything. Because with numbers, gives you power, gives you money, and anything else. Anything. You can get whatever you want if you know how to speak it into existence. We're going to give Amaru a shout out here. We're going to play a clip, even though he's lurking. Let's see. Playing ball here.
What the fuck? Why is there a motorcycle in his mic? Hello? Another one.
Motorcycle in his mic. Okay.
A project called Roost, which he initially tried to play off as a meme coin that was harassing him by putting up signs around where he lives. But unfortunately, it doesn't take a master's in marketing to know that Andrew and his team of professional video editors chose to not cut this promotion out of their videos because they were trying to promote Roost Coin. Andrew interacted with Roost Coin's Twitter about a dozen times, which again is not just a coincidence, these are intentional promotions. He even made a Rumble live stream.
Because he'll do what gets him money.
That same live stream,
that's what you do as a guy.
Personally endorsed the coin, and it's
he ain't stupid.
You know what? Maybe I should buy some fucking Roost. I'm getting it now. It makes some sense. Because I spoke with those dudes, and they're all pretty based. I get it.
I'm a fucking genie.
Looks like Andrew's not a very good genie because Roost is now
down 99%. Of course it is.
High. The next meme coin Andrew promoted is called Daddy Tate Coin. Bubble Maps made a great thread on Andrew's behind-the-scenes involvement with Daddy Coin, claiming that insiders bought 30% of the supply at launch, and then after
guess what?
In,
doesn't this start to sound like Logan Paul?
Any other coin he's ever promoted.
We all know he did the same thing.
20 times, and the end result is not that different from any of the other scams Andrew has promoted, as it's now down about 70% from its all-time high.
Every day I am checking the price and it is dipping. Every day check the price, bad price. I can't take this anymore, man. I have overnators by a lot. It is what it is, but I need the price to go up.
So, in my opinion, this allegedly devout Muslim man is just a straight-up thief who has promoted multiple scams to his audience time and time again. And keep in mind, this is still the same guy who used to constantly call out Logan Paul
for doing the, absolutely. That's what I remember.
Like Logan Paul, I'm a clown. My endorsement is extremely powerful because unlike Logan Paul, who sells crypto pump and dumps, making kids lose money.
And I'm all for the Logan Paul hate, but Andrew is just as bad as Logan, if not worse, because at least Logan didn't first call other people out for scamming, then turn around and do the exact same thing.
Maybe it's just the old school guy in me, but I don't like hypocrites.
Yeah, but we're talking about this guy's pretty much a professional gangster. He's a mafia, he's a mafioso. He knows how to make his money, and he'll do it any way he can. It doesn't matter if he scams his audience or what. He'll do it.
Openly speak out against the BS that fake gurus constantly spew.
I mean, there's a lot of money from bullshit. The reason bullshit exists is because there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a diet book. I could take a picture of me in supreme physical condition, looking like a fucking union, and I could say, I got this fit in 20 minutes a day, eating this special Tate diet for $9.99 a month. I'm going to show you how to have six-pack and all this shit for $9.99. I could lie, absolutely, and I'd make a whole bunch of money. And that's the reason people believe it. People are looking for bullshit. People are selling bullshit.
And of course, Andrew then went on to make a BS fitness course.
Of course he did.
He claimed that you could have a physique like him by doing burpees and tuck jumps.
Everything's going to be done with these two exercises. So the first exercise is burpee, which I know you've heard of, I know you hate, with the bar. 25 of them in a row. Then 25 jumps. Aim with these jumps, they don't look pretty, so your knees up high. So this allows you to have a good physique quickly. That burpee workout with the tuck jumps should take about 18 minutes.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little fitness industry secret here. Andrew looks like this because he does burpees, and definitely not because he's a former pro athlete who generally eats healthy and exercises consistently. So at the beginning, he used to speak out against BS, and then he went on to become the BS.
Yeah. I'm not selling a course. I'm not doing anything a lot of the guys on Twitter are doing. So I benefit very little from it. So I'll say, look, if you're watching this and you want to change your life, you're a full-grown man. It's your fucking life. Go fucking do it. Like, no one else is going to do it for you. No one's going to come and kick your door down and say, here's a hot girl in a Ferrari. No one's going to do that. So you go get it yourself.
And he's absolutely true there, too.
That's how I've always viewed it.
The secret is no secret. There's no shortcut.
There's no secret, man. The secret's absolutely no secret, you know?
That 30-second clip alone completely discredits a majority of the fake guru industry that Andrew is now leading. The problem with most fake gurus like Andrew is that most of their wealth hasn't come from actually doing the things they teach. It comes from teaching others how to do things that they haven't even personally done. Real leaders lead by example and not by deceit or false promises. If there's anything to really learn from Andrew, it's from his misdeeds and not the garbage in his courses. Lastly, the number one thing which
point to this statement, his misdeeds got him a lot of money. If you want to learn from Andrew, you learn his misdeeds.
Discredits Andrew's fake guru grift is the fact that he himself has insulted his own students in private. Men started to get jealous and began asking me how to start a video chat business. They'll never do it because they're losers, but they like the idea. So I started charging men to teach them. So now we have undeniable evidence that behind the scenes in 2022, Andrew was calling the people who bought his courses losers. And from a consumer's perspective, why in the world should anyone, even if they're 12 years old, want to learn from or support someone?
Because in his mind, they're losers until they learn how to do it and they're rich.
Text alone proves that Andrew doesn't look at his courses as a genuine way to help people while also
absolutely,
at the same time.
Absolutely.
He sees these courses as a way to rip off losers rather than actually helping them succeed.
He's a person who doesn't care about his fans. He just wants to make as much money as possible off the back of people who watch him.
And that makes sense because from every
Elite Winner give you a shout out here.
They aren't designed to provide the
Let's see, you have a clip?
Value to each.
You do. Let's see.
Reload, motherfucker. Yes!
Let's go, motherfucker!
Fuck you.
Nice.
Holy
nice,
shit.
Nice. Let's go.
Got kicked into ultra fucking sweaty mode there.
Sweaty mode.
Shit.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Student, they're literally just
someone unfollowed. We're back at 149.
Money out of every customer.
Happens all the time because I do controversial streams and controversial video content. People unfollow all the time.
Effort is put into the marketing versus the actual education.
When I say something they don't like.
When you take the Shahada, all of your former sins are erased, and I actually encourage you to find the light and convert to Islam.
Which religion sticks to what it means? Which religion says what it means and means what it says? Because that's the kind of person I am.
When I say Islam is the last religion on earth, I say it because it seems to be the only one who will stand up and say, no,
Over time, Andrew has generally started to tone
Does it
down
really
his
make
messaging
sense
after he was simultaneously
that
from every large social media in
this
August
man
of
is
2022,
Islamic?
He went on to post a video called Andrew Tate's Final Message, and he essentially said that he wanted to refine and improve his message.
I need to make sure I'm not misunderstood. And I have to really be careful about how I do that while not backing down on my messaging, while still championing the things I champion, still believing in myself.
Yeah,
Making
absolutely.
sure I'm not misunderstood. And although I think on the internet I am one of the most respected oratists that exists, I now need to once again improve myself and improve my skills.
And ever since then,
Yeah.
he's generally started to tone down the more extreme and misogynistic things that he used to constantly say in his old videos.
Women are fucking stupid. Fictional ones, real ones.
Look at the balls on this guy, though.
They're fucking dumb. Women are dumb. We know it.
Ugh.
We're not supposed to say it, but it's fucking true.
Stupid. Women are dumb.
And instead of saying things like that, he started to position himself as some sort of a role model for the youth who's totally not a misogynist and acting under the instruction of God.
The whole misogynistic bullshit, because it is bullshit.
But it's a way to get people to enjoy you more, to like you more.
Absolutely a misogynist. It wasn't because of anything I said. It was purely because of the influence I had, because I was large, and because
This guy knows how to change the narrative. It's not even
I'll
close.
say I'm a sexist. I'm a sexist guy. I don't care. I'm a sexist.
they were just looking for an attack
Uh-huh.
angle, and it was a weaponized virtue. I genuinely am a force for good in the world. You may not understand that yet, but you will eventually. And I genuinely believe I'm acting under the instruction of God to do good things, and I want to make the world a better place.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with his statement there.
Positive influence, just like many of the other things Andrew says verbally, this is a complete and utter lie. You can't do
Prove
things
it to
as
me.
bad as Andrew has allegedly done in the past without facing the consequences of your actions, then just lie about it extensively, and then turn around and verbally say you're a good moral person.
Yeah, you can.
To lead others away from degeneracy.
Yeah, you can. He just did. He just did. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing that's going to get in your way from saying that you're a good person. You got to prove it to people. Andrew Tate is a man, and what I consider a man that actually knows how to be a man at this point in life, okay? And he may be vicious, he may be a scammer, he may be all these terrible things, but he knows how to show other people what they do not want to hear, to be an adult. And if he says if you get scammed by him, it's your own fault. Because he's just making money like a man, like an adult.
You have not changed the culture. You're not a movement. I am. And I'm going to lead everybody away from your degeneracy and your disgusting haramities.
Yes, you heard it here first. The former webcam model who used to unironically describe himself as a pimp and
Yep.
God with a lowercase g now wants people to believe he is a
Lowercase
prophet
g.
that wants to lead everyone away from degeneracy. And somehow his fans actually believe him.
Are you sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
In my opinion, Andrew hasn't rebranded because he's had a massive change of heart in the last 2 years. He didn't snort ayahuasca or drink DMT juice and suddenly realize that everything about his brand is wrong and bad. Andrew has probably rebranded because it benefits him so
Gives him more money.
fills his bank account. When Andrew was blowing up in the summer of 2022, he was about as degenerate as one can be. At one point, he even asked a literal porn star to tattoo his name on her.
So once you've tattooed Cobra Tate, you can choose where. It doesn't matter where. Send me the picture. Send me the picture on Instagram when it's done. I'll send my plane to pick you up.
I'm going to lead everybody away from your degeneracy.
This guy is the degeneracy, and that's what makes me so skeptical about the complete 180 that he's recently done with his brand.
So what?
Islam very closely reflects my personal beliefs. Through my personal life,
Maybe that's an insult to Islam.
You can have is be a camera. I have 19-year-old girls making $50,000 a month. No man's touching them.
Is OnlyFans
Sure he has.
a good way to make a living?
I can't sit here and promote women doing OnlyFans. I don't think there's anything actually wrong with it.
I don't think he's wrong here either. But I don't, just because I don't think he's wrong with his words, okay, I don't believe he believes his own words in some of these statements. He knows what to say to get other people to believe them. He believes them as he says them, and then forgets that he believes them. That sounds crazy, but that's as crazy as Andrew Tate gets.
When Andrew officially announced his reversion to Islam on Getter just about 2 months after getting banned. And I think the reason he chose Islam as his new grift is because Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, and Andrew saw the religion as an opportunity to make money.
If I had to bet on one religion as if I were betting on the stock market for the future, you have to bet on Islam.
Now, normally I wouldn't question the authenticity of someone's shift to a certain faith, because at the end of the day, I have no idea what's going on in Andrew's head, but Andrew has a track record of using his status as a religious man to paint himself as a good person in the eyes of the general public.
I live with a very, very pure heart. I'm a religious man. I go to church, and who follows me in detail knows I donate huge sums of money to the church.
Because I live in an Orthodox Christian country, I go to the Orthodox Christian church. I donate $20,000 a month to the church in the country I live in. The church in Romania is very powerful, and I like having church friends. So I give them a lot of money, right?
Both of those clips are from before Andrew reverted to Islam, and notice how he doesn't mention how much he
So he
loves
went to an
Christianity, Jesus Christ, or the Bible. All he talks about is how he uses the
Orthodox
religion
and then became Muslim.
himself. At one point, Andrew even photoshopped his face onto Jesus in an attempt to sell more courses.
So I'm basically Jesus. I saved your life. Might be. I'm actually basically Jesus.
That's
I live for you.
probably why he's
So I
Islam.
can learn lessons to teach people like me. Basically Jesus Christ.
Why would you say something so blasphemous?
Like,
For lesser individuals like you, so you can learn via my experience.
But the main thing
It really
which makes me
is.
question Andrew's shift to Islam.
Yeah, I
is
wanna
that
hear this.
Andrew has opportunistically switched his religious positions to whatever benefits him the most at that time. When Andrew lived in the UK, which just so happens to be a generally non-religious society, he was a very open atheist.
God isn't real. There's no evidence for God. There's no proof for God. Every time I say this, someone comes at me with their proof, and they need to read the dictionary and understand what the dictionary definition of proof is. It's very difficult to prove something. It's actually difficult to prove gravity, let alone God, which doesn't exist. You can't prove something that isn't there. God isn't there.
Okay.
When Andrew moved to Romania, which is a Christian country,
It's Orthodox
just so happened
or
to
Catholic.
be Christian because he wanted to have powerful friends. And after he got his
Yep.
home in Romania raided for the first time in April of 2022, I think Andrew slowly started to move to Dubai to avoid prosecution, just like he did with the UK back in the day.
Where do you actually call home these days?
Dubai/Romania.
Okay.
But Dubai massively impresses me as a city, and the United Arab Emirates massively impresses me as a country.
Yeah, but
And as
Islam
you'd
is
expect,
most in
around
Dubai.
the same time that he started to move to Dubai, he started to become Muslim.
Weren't you an atheist at once?
I was at one point. Yeah. But now I'm absolutely and utterly completely religious.
Because you believe in evil, huh?
Because I've
28.
seen the evil.
Yeah.
I've seen evil.
What's your religion?
It's kind of like an interesting hybrid. When I'm in Dubai, I'm happy to be Muslim, and when I'm in Romania, I'm happy to be Christian.
Obviously, people are products of their environments, and Andrew is no different.
But there's no reason for him to say that, because here's the thing. There's no wrong way to believe in God. If you believe in God in any way you think, it's good. At least in my opinion. You can believe in God and you're in a good light. You're in a good mood. You're doing well. Okay? And I believe that.
There is a pattern of behavior here. He was an atheist in England, Christian in Romania, and Muslim in Dubai. And all of those positions in all those locations just so happen to be the most socially acceptable and profitable for each particular place. And we have to ask ourselves, why would a fully grown man who intentionally moved from the UK to Romania to run a webcam studio and an OnlyFans management company suddenly want to become Muslim at the age of 35, just 2 months after he gets canceled and deplatformed?
Why would they lie? What would they have to gain?
Of course, it's not impossible for
Right,
a public
yeah.
figure to genuinely change their opinions over time, but when it comes to people who have consistent track records of dishonesty and they coincidentally switch their positions as soon as it becomes advantageous for them to do so, it does make me question the authenticity of sudden radical shifts which just so happen to benefit their careers, especially
I mean, this is hypothetical,
in this scenario conveniently wipes away
and
all past
it's
sins
probably
that
true.
anyone has ever committed.
There was a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad where he said,
But I'm going to say that he
Islam,
probably
it completely yuhdimu ma qabla. It destroys everything before. It
has
wipes away
a
everything
religious
before.
belief now
In
of
other
some
words,
kind.
your slate is absolutely clean.
Look, I love my Muslim brothers and sisters, but
Because-
if his slate was truly clean, Andrew would have no reason to even bother going to trial for the things that he's allegedly done in the past. And although Islam does teach that reverting to the faith cleanses you of your past sins,
That's
it
exactly
doesn't
right
absolve
there. He
anyone
believes he's
of
did
their
wrong.
responsibility to make amends for
It-
past wrongs.
We had the two girls on camera with a keyboard which wasn't plugged in doing this, and then I was behind the screen talking to the dudes. You get a man with game and give him a female's body, a female avatar, he will fuck a guy up. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all. You'd have a guy.
Feel bad or no?
No, give you solitary fuck.
In my opinion, if Andrew was truly
Like
the
a true
religious
man, yeah.
of God that he now claims to be, it would make sense for him to refund everyone he exploited.
Never.
Including former webcam clients, the women who worked for him, casino patrons, and the buyers of his OnlyFans and PhD courses, as well as those who invested in the failed
He never
crypto
would.
coins that he just promoted. Realistically, he has the money to do it, just sitting in a bank account or a crypto wallet. He's not broke, and I'm sure most would agree those are some of the most
haram
ways of producing income in the entire world. And I really don't think it'd be that hard for Andrew to just pay someone else to find all those people and issue refunds to them, just like he found them to make money off of in the first place. And I asked one of my Muslim friends,
But he
about
believes
this,
they're
and he told me
idiots.
about this verse in the
That's
Quran,
why
which essentially
he
encourages
won't
Muslims
do
to
it.
make amends for those that they've wronged.
Because he
And
believes
although I'm
that
not
they are
Muslim,
that the people he got money from are lesser than him.
which was produced in extremely unethical ways as a form of restitution.
Because there's no money that's as bad as dirty money. That shit catches up to you. Trust me. Been there.
How do you generate your income?
The first thing is I own some casinos in Romania.
Yep.
You don't want money that comes the wrong way. It's just too much hassle. It's not
Sus-
worth it.
But of
I mean,
course,
not,
Andrew isn't even gonna
casinos
try
are one of the
to make any
best,
sort
quickest
of
ways to make money.
reconciliations.
Why
In
wouldn't he
fact,
open one?
He's not even gonna think about it. What he's gonna do instead is just verbally pretend to be religious while openly avoiding any sort of in-depth understanding of the religion that he now claims to follow.
I am not an Islamic scholar, and I don't consider myself knowledgeable on Islam. I'm new to the religion. I'm only a year in, and I'm studying as best I can, but there's a lot of people who know more than me. I'm not an Islamic scholar. I'm still learning along with everybody else. And I'm certainly not an Islamic scholar by any regard. And once again, I'll make this very clear. I'm not an Islamic scholar. I'm not actually a scholar in any religion. Since I've
He
learned
doesn't
all
need to be.
detailed questions. I'm on a journey like everybody else. I'm new to this like everybody else. I'm not here to quote the Quran. I don't understand a lot of it yet. I am an Islamic revert, and I do not want to talk scripture because there's people more qualified than I haven't self-analyzed my religious journey heavily enough, and I'm not an Islamic scholar to argue that point.
No rational person is expecting Andrew to be an Islamic scholar after 2 years, but I do think a little more knowledge than someone who knows nothing about the religion would be sufficient. But Andrew doesn't even bother doing that. Instead, what he does is just act willfully unaware of the fact that joining Islam at the time that he did would benefit him in his career.
You say it's a brotherhood and it has your back. I didn't consider that before I joined. I've learned it's true after I joined. Yeah, it absolutely is. There's
I mean,
every organization or every group of people on earth, it can go both ways. There's certain people who attack me for not doing everything.
It's in his best interest. Politically correct stuff is nonsense.
They're like, oh, you didn't read this.
But
part."
I
You know those
mean,
people,
this
but in
is
general,
just
yeah, it's a community. But I never
seems
considered
pretty
that before I
strange.
joined.
This is just disrespectful at this point. I'm not even Muslim, but I'm offended somehow. Are we genuinely supposed to believe that Andrew didn't consider the potential benefits of becoming Muslim? Because on one hand...
No, but he's smart. He did it because he doesn't really care. If you're truly a bad person, you don't really care about religion unless it benefits you. Every moment of his life and everything he thinks about is about making money. And it doesn't matter what and who he goes through.
He never discusses it in depth.
And that's impressive. I would say that's a my role. That's impressive.
For an extended period of time now.
Who are you lying?
Does that make you an evil person if you think that way? No. Because any other person in the world, given the chance, would do the same thing.
Andrew told him in private that he's not actually Muslim.
He's not actually Muslim. He's Muslim just because he's in Dubai. Because he wants to be friends with all the sheikhs and stuff. All of a sudden he started doing business with sheikhs, all of a sudden he's Muslim. It's not real. Can I corroborate this? No. How did I find out? Sitting at a table in Dubai with him, is what he told us. I asked him, are you actually Muslim? He said, well, kind of, not really. I'm just kind of doing it because I'm in the United Arab Emirates and it's good for public perception.
When was this conversation?
Back in December
2022, huh?
Ultimately, that is purely speculation. There's no way to prove
What-
Andrew did or didn't say that.
Did you get echoes of wisdom, Kay? Did you get echoes of... Did you get the new one? You did? Are you streaming it? Is that a yes to your streaming it? I will be. Okay. I was wondering if you, I was wondering, like, we could start it at the same time. Because I hear there's a lot of secrets in it. We could play at the same time. Like, get it in a call. And stream it. Because I'm going to play it too.
That in private, but when you combine it with things like this, where he implies that he would opportunistically join Islam so terrorists wouldn't kill him, and Andrew's consistent track record of dishonesty, it does seem quite on brand. Another thing which makes me extremely suspicious about Andrew's religious grift is the fact that he started claiming to be religious around the same time that he started publishing.
Well, the issue is, it's not even that. The issue is the game is one of those games with a bunch of hidden crap in it. Like, just hidden bushes and stupid garbage. I hear, like, I watched a review. Apparently, there's a lot of just random hidden garbage. And I thought if, like, one of us found something, we can tell the other person where it is.
Sizing his charitable deeds.
None of these people who are attacking me care about me. None of them donate to women's charities. None of them donate to
This is the only video I'm watching right now. Because after this video is over in, like, 10 minutes, I'm going to end the stream. And I'll be back about, like, an hour and a half to play Zelda. I'm going to go make some food.
None of them help anybody like I do. Everybody ignore my charitable donations. They don't donate money to charity, or ignoring my charitable donations. I'm going to donate money to a female charity that supports women against domestic violence. I'm also going to donate money to a charity that supports men's mental health. I'm going to be starting a foundation, the Tate Foundation, which is going to be dedicated towards charitable acts of both genders. So go to overtate.com, sign up for the email list. And my email list is going to start detailing all of my charitable acts from here on out. I'll be spending millions and millions of dollars on charitable acts for the rest of my human life.
In 2023, Andrew...
Well, that's very nice of him to do that.
Pledge, which, according to their website, has done some fantastic things.
Yep.
Like food distribution in tons of different countries, fruit tree projects, and providing winter clothing and blankets to those in need. And these are all undeniably great and commendable things, regardless of the intentions behind them. However, my issue with Tate Pledge is Andrew's own words from before he became a charity grifter.
I give money to beggars and homeless. I don't advertise it because I hate people who do that, because that's not giving money to charity. That's buying attention or buying likes.
That's exactly what he's doing.
What do you give to charity? Maybe I do give to charity, motherfucker. I just don't put it all over social media because I don't see these people on fucking Facebook. You see them. A guy who goes and gives $50 to a homeless guy, and they record the whole thing on GoPros and 5 different angles.
But he knows what to say. Like, this has only taught me that he knows exactly what to say to get popular. Doesn't matter. It's not say what you do. It's do as you act. He doesn't do what he says.
And then it's shared like
He just knows what to say to get popular, which is impressive.
For 18 million views for $50. That's pretty fucking cheap. That's not charity. That's exploitation. He's exploiting a homeless person to buy fucking likes through fake gratitude and fake virtue. That is bullshit. And people fall for it because you're all fucking stupid.
Logically, I can't refute that argument at
No.
all. People like Andrew, who constantly brag and record their good deeds, almost always have an ulterior motive behind it. That doesn't discredit the fact that doing good is still good, but in Andrew's case specifically, he probably didn't start publicizing his charitable acts out of the kindness of his heart. And it's
He get
also
it to get him
not
out of jail and out of
business
his
model
problem.
like some other content creators. And if Tate Pledge was all just to give back and nothing more, he could do those exact same things in private without buying likes. With that being said, Tate Pledge probably wasn't created with the genuine intention to help the world become a better place. The goal was most likely to present bad people in a positive light to make the general public forget about the bad things they've done, as well as to show the Romanian judges that they've changed for the better. but unfortunately, it's not gonna work.
I'm going to be starting a foundation, the Tate Foundation, which is going to be dedicated towards charitable acts.
I don't advertise my charitable donations because I don't want to buy virtue.
Go to CobraTate.com and click Tate Pledge, and you'll see that I dedicate $25 million a year to feeding children.
If you give a bunch of money away and then you tell everyone about it, you're just buying. I feel like you're paying to be liked as opposed to giving to charity.
So although Andrew is now,
But he already admitted to being hypocritical to this. He said it.
every other grifter, he's preaching things that he most likely.
He's already admitted to it. Like there's no other way to say that.
He's still a pimp.
So what you're saying is when they tweet virtue and stuff like that, that's not real? Is that an act?
That's a personality they're trying on today.
Right.
Today they're political guy.
Right.
I'm political guy today.
Yeah.
You better watch out, Putin. And then tomorrow they'll be like, I'm party guy.
Yeah.
I'm party guy. And then I care about trans people guy. And then they're just, I'm hot guy. You see that? You ever see that transition?
Yeah.
From I care about trans people in the Ukraine to it's my.
But he knows how to talk.
So they go from one to one. They just it keeps it fun.
How easy it would be.
Okay, let's see. What do you admit here? What is his conclusion? I'm ready.
That, of course, is something I won't do.
Ultimately, given the sheer quantities of evidence I've presented by this point,
Uh-huh.
I think it's more than fair to say that Andrew is not someone that anyone should be choosing to support in their free time. The guy is a straight-up monster, through and through. If we look at the full picture here, from the alleged trafficking, to the scams, to him faking cancer, to pretending to be a different religion every few years for monetary gain, to the doxing and organized harassment, I think it is impossible to be a normal person and support this guy. And while I certainly don't expect anyone to do hours and hours of research just to watch a podcast or two, I definitely do think the people supporting him financially need to seriously reconsider that.
My advice is don't follow somebody who's on their way to prison. I mean, I don't think you can get any more simple than that.
Although I joke about this a lot, I think this guy actually needs to be placed in a cell for an extended period of time. Not because he shared an opinion on COVID or Ukraine.
I'm going to say that he is a bad guy. He's a bad person. But I'm also going to say that he did a lot of good with some people, teaching them how to do certain things. Alright? He did do charity, no matter if he publicized it or not. Not all of his girls hated him. The only horrific thing that I truly cannot defend in this video so far was his actions with his course and his actions with cryptocurrency. Otherwise, I believe he was speaking some good points and only did what any other person would do to make money, making him not a good person. Like I said, he's a bad guy. But I'm not necessarily calling him evil either.
But simply because of his own actions.
You need to, as a man, adopt the mindset that absolutely everything that happens
And I believe,
your fault, whether it's good or bad.
even with this religion
The most
thing,
important lesson that anyone can really learn.
everyone deserves second chances.
Your ego can never get so large that you get to the point where Andrew is at in life. For one singular human to have an ego so large that he thought he could move to Romania, escape justice, run his allegedly illegal empire there, then brag about it continuously, then sell a course
And
on
I
how to do it,
think
then brag
that
about how much
he's wrong here. If your ego is big enough, you can pull it off. And I think Andrew Tate will be free from this trial.
access to corruption he has, and then later choose to become as famous as he did and still expect to walk away completely unscathed after all of it is just delusional. The entire plan, A through Z, was delusional.
But everyone's delusional on the internet. Everyone,
times
it's not even that he's smart.
guy has the IQ of a chimp because the only
He
reason why he thought
relates
he
to
could get
so
away
many
with all of
people,
that is because
and it's
he allowed
impressive.
his ego to get so large over
He can
time
talk.
that he got lost in the sauce in his own delusions. And the fact that he allowed himself to become this far gone is a problem that he now has to deal with.
I'm the most misunderstood man on the planet. I really believe I am. It's crazy the level. There are people out there who truly believe I am evil, and I'm nothing. I'm nothing close to it. I'm one of the most compassionate people you can possibly.
I don't believe that Andrew Tate is more evil than anyone else on this planet. There are people way worse than he is.
Most importantly, I think Andrew needs to stop being delusional. In my opinion, getting arrested for human trafficking and then claiming the entirety of the case is based on TikTok is just not a strong legal defense. It's probably best to just not comment on the case at all. Trying to cancel others because they had an opinion you disagreed with isn't a good
That's
look.
not abnormal from any other
Speech
influencer.
advocate and calling victims on a recorded line and telling them to make videos defending you probably just aren't the actions of a completely innocent man. He also needs to stop lying as often as he does on video because clearly he can't even keep track of his own lies. The biggest problem with lying is that you need to remember all the lies in order to keep your story straight.
That is one thing he was really bad at. He should have been more vague with his lies.
It's almost impossible.
And there's no, and like, I mean, he did lie.
To who and when, and at a certain point, when you lie so often to others,
But he doesn't
you
even
also
care.
Start lying to yourself. As Fyodor Dostoevsky once said, above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him or around him, and so loses all respect for himself and for others. And in life, we are what we repeatedly do.
Yep.
Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times.
It doesn't matter
we're
how many
human.
times.
But when you start lying about almost everything, at a certain point, you need to be caged for that too. At the very least, when you
I
lie
disagree
as
there.
often as Andrew has, your
Lying is free
credibility in the eyes
speech.
of the general public should drop to 0, and that includes when he positions himself as some man of righteousness and a role model for the youth. He should have no credibility when it comes to those things.
At any point in human history, there's been the good guys up against the forces of evil, whatever they were of the time, and you've always been outnumbered and you've always been supposed to lose.
So you consider yourself the good guy in this situation?
Of course.
I think that truth is instilled by God in all of us, and I think if you tell the truth, you're a good person.
If telling the truth is the metric which defines good versus bad, I think
I
it's
mean,
safe to say
he
that
hasn't-
Andrew is not one of the good guys. By that definition,
It's a split. We can
Andrew
say
is not
Andrew
like
is
the
obviously lied
bad guy
in some
who knows
places.
how to act like one of the good guys.
You're not good. You just know how to hide. How to lie. Me, I don't have that part. Me, I always tell the truth. Even when I lie.
I prefer a real villain rather than a false hero. A real villain is honest about who they are and doesn't pretend to be virtuous. A false
That's
hero
not how it works, though.
deceives and manipulates,
A false
hiding
hero
their real
gets more
intentions
popular.
behind a facade of righteousness.
I think Andrew Tate really did teach people how to be a man and how to make money. And it's by following his example, and he's showing it.
Like our friend Cobra Tate.
So he did it.
And we're living in a world which is built on lies.
He did exactly what he was planning on doing, no matter how bad it was.
Everything is a lie. Everything they tell you is a lie. Every system you're supposed to
And
believe
he-
in is corrupted to the core.
And that's true. And like what he says when he goes on podcasts are true.
And I think if you're going to make or build a correct society, a fair and just society, you should at least do it under the guise of truth.
And that's the greatest irony of all. While he claims to be Morpheus, looking to help people escape the Matrix, Andrew is actually a lot more like Agent Smith. He perpetuates control, lies, and manipulation on a mass scale rather than freedom and truth like Morpheus. Andrew is the physical embodiment of the corruption and dishonesty that he claims to be fighting against. And all he's really doing when he's talking about the Matrix is pretending to oppose what he truly is. If you like this video, I know
Okay.
you'll love this one about Logan Paul on the screen right now.
No. I would say this is still a defense of Andrew Tate. Do I like him less? Yes. Do I think he's bad? Yes. But do I think he's wrong? No. There are points to be had in every conversation, and you must take what you think how you say it into an action of your own hands. Was there good points in this video? Yes, there was. Okay, yes, there was. The scamming, the courses, all should go. It's all bad. Tate did have great charity events. Charity. Did he lie? He should have been more vague with lying. I'm not going to condone his lies, but he should have known how to do it. He's better than that. The whole women thing, I'm going to disregard altogether. Any pimp anywhere can be comparable actions and do that too. So, I would say I'm 60-40 on him. I'm 60% positive on him and 40% bad. That's my opinion, so I'm going to still call this a defense. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time.